What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to the Cinema Asylum podcast. It is Sci-Fi September. As you know, I am Matthew, one of the superhero and sci-fi experts.
I'm Dyllan, the other superhero and sci-fi expert.
I am Garrett, the drama and indie expert.
And I am John Thompson. I am the action and animation expert. And thank you for joining us for another Sci-Fi September. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, we're continuing our series. This is going to be sci-fi movies of the 2000s top 10.
Now it's like these are like this in the 2010s is probably going to be the most fun.
Yeah,
for us.
agreed.
I had 22 movies on the list I had to cut down to 10 this week.
Mm-hmm.
And next week I had like 19, so it's like crap.
Yeah.
There's stuff on both lists where there's stuff that I really, really wanted to mention. It just did not make the cut.
Right.
So it's going to be a real pain.
Yeah, tonight's going to be fun, but next week is the one I'm most excited for the most.
Yeah, 2010s is my favorite era for sci-fi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I believe we're doing 2020s as
The
well,
2020s.
Right? 2020s?
The 2020s are shaping it to be a really good decade too.
Yeah.
there's some
So
really high on sci-fi.
Only
Yeah.
halfway so far, but
I could think of, 7 or 8 really good sci-fi movies that came out this year right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Or this decade.
I just saw
Same.
one last night.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I don't think it's for me.
no.
I would not
I
like
think
it.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
I just
about.
saw last night. I saw The Substance. I loved it. It's one of my favorite movies this year. It is up there with probably the most disgusting, vile thing I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of crazy body horror, and this is up there with some of the. This honestly makes The Fly look like a fucking Care Bears movie. I'm not even joking.
Oh, boy.
There's shit in that movie, The Substance, that you will not even think you could have ever have seen in your life.
Yeah, I'm skipping this one.
And it's 2.5 hours of it, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It's
Oh,
2.5
boy.
Yeah,
hours.
okay, that was 2 hours and
Yikes.
20.
It's- There's a lot. So
Yeah, I'm
honestly,
skipping this one.
I honestly don't think Terrifier 3, because I'm hearing a lot of stuff about that. I'm not even sure if that will be as gross as this.
I guess Art the Clown himself actually threw up on production during a scene.
David Howard Thornton.
Yeah. It was so gory he threw up.
I don't know. The second one was tough to stomach too.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if I should be surprised or not because he has played Art the Clown for the second time.
That's the
And
third
now this
time.
the-
Yeah.
and now this- and now this is the
He's
third
been playing
time.
that
He's been
same
doing
kind
it
of
for a
role
while.
for a while. I kind of want him to do something a little different.
He was actually, in a fan series, he was actually Nightwing.
That's cool. I didn't hear about
Ah.
Huh.
because I feel
think
like
he played Nightwing, or maybe he played Deathstroke.
he has played a lot of silent killer types,
Yeah.
and I think he can be more than that.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure he was Nightwing. If not, he played Deathstroke in that same series,
Huh? Okay.
which would make more sense. For Art the Clown and stuff,
Mhm.
Deathstroke would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we combining
forget
2010s
about
and 2020s next week?
No, we are doing
No,
the
we're only
top,
halfway through the decade, bud.
Yeah. We're doing the top 10 2010s, and then after we're done with that, the top 5 2020s.
Yeah. Oh, so 2010s next week and then 2020s.
No,
the
it's
next
same week, but we're
Same
gonna
week. Yeah, that's
we're
what I was
gonna
asking.
finish off the 2010s.
Yeah.
And then we'll discuss the 2020s.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah.
I will say one of the movies on my list, I have 2 movies at one spot.
Yeah.
And you all know which movie it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so yeah, join us for the next
The
week.
finale.
Of the madness of more great sci-fi movies. So this will be fun.
So are you guys ready for trivia?
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, he played the Joker, David Howard
Oh,
Thornton. Yeah, the
okay.
Joker.
Oh yeah.
Did-
That makes a lot more sense.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
he had a speaking
Yeah.
role.
All
I
right.
would
I'm sure
hope
he-
so.
I'm sure he would.
All right. Trivia. This one intrigues me.
This is worth 3 points.
Okay.
Okay. Which 80s animated movie was co-written by Logan director James Mangold?
Oh, I have no clue.
Wow.
Judging off my, because 80s was not, in terms of animation, was not really the strongest decade for Disney. That gave a lot of other animation.
I will give a
Giants
clue if
too.
you guys want a clue about that, but it will cost it down to 2 points.
Don't think this is a Disney movie.
John,
Yeah.
when did Rescuers Down Under come out?
That was 90.
1977.
Was it?
The Rescue.
Are you talking
No,
about?
not the Rescuers. I mean the Rescuers Down
That
Under.
was 90.
That was
1990.
Okay.
So it's not. I
Okay.
don't think it's that one.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need a clue. What do you guys think?
If you guys all
It's
agree.
been a while since we've asked for a clue.
But yeah, you guys all have to agree about the clue because it'll knock it down a
Yeah,
point.
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Please
Okay,
do.
yeah.
It is a Disney movie.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. So
Can I look up a date for a movie?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, because there's only
I'm going to do it so you can see that I'm not
Okay.
trying to.
Yeah.
because there's only 3 Disney movies I could think of. Well, actually, make that 4. Let's see. It was the Fox and Hound, the Black Cauldron, the Great Mouse Detective, and the Little Mermaid. Those were the 4 Disney animated movies I could think of. Oh, and Oliver Company. I'm sorry, there's 5. So, you know what? Any of you guys that actually guess, I guess, I think are all gonna have pretty much our different answers. So,
So wait, which ones did you just list off again? Because I think I have my answer.
Did you say
Great Mouse Detective.
Gray Mouse Detective?
Yeah. I mean, that would maybe make sense. The Great Mouse Detective.
That's the
What
one
was
that I'm
the,
currently going with.
It's a great movie.
I want to beat Matthew on this one. we
I
got
do
to
too.
figure it
I
out.
want to beat him too. I want to beat him too.
What was the one with the dog? The bunch of dogs in the 80s. It was
Oliver and Company.
Oliver and
Yeah.
Company. Okay. I don't think it's Oliver and Company. I don't. Last time I checked, it wasn't Black Cauldron.
No.
Damn, James Mangold must have been working way back then.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't.
This was his second thing he ever did
Wow.
Oh, okay.
in
So
terms
that's
of producing, directing, anything.
It's probably not
Alright.
Little Mermaid.
no.
No way.
I would say Great Mouse Detective.
That's what I'm going with. Yeah.
I'm gonna be so mad if we get this wrong. Great.
What
Mouse-
other
my-
movies released?
My
What?
second choice would be Fox and the Hound. But
Okay.
uh,
That would
that would make the most.
List them off all again, John.
yes.
Okay. Fox and the Hound, the Black Cauldron,
No.
the Great Mouse Detective,
Okay.
Oliver and Company, and the Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think that it's either Fox and the Hound or Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah.
Well, you got to pick one.
I know.
I'm going Great Mouse Detective. Actually, no. Fox and the Hound. I'm changing it.
Ooh.
Ah.
We're gonna be so mad it was a Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah, like it's got I feel like it has to be one of those two. I
This
want to
is-
go with Great Mouse Detective because I feel like
If you do, you're gonna make me choose.
yeah, I know. Because like that's what my gut tells me. I just feel like Fox and the Hound is so much more James Mangold.
Yeah. I mean, if
Oh,
The way it-
oh,
yeah.
could be though.
Great Mouse
Oh,
Detective doesn't really have
Oh
that.
my god.
At least not the amount.
You can't see on camera, but he is stressed. Dylan is stressed over there.
Well, okay, like because I'm trying to pick the two movies apart, but it's been so fucking long since I've seen Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Like I've watched both Logan and Great Mouse Detective this year. Literally watched Great Mouse Detective just the other week. But I
it's
just
fantastic.
wasn't paying
It's
attention
so
at the
great.
very start.
I love the Great Mouse Detective. It's so good.
Yeah.
It is. I love it. It got me in the mood to watch more Sherlock
Yeah.
stuff.
But, oh boy.
God.
Do you go with your head or you go for your gut?
Yeah, I know. I'm going with Great Mouse Detective because I just feel like the action adventure is a lot more
Crap, now you're
present
gonna make
across
me choose?
all
Oh,
of Mangold's stuff.
Man.
I feel like it's a little
Although
more
if
present.
if neither of those two will be right, then we're gonna all of us
Yeah,
gonna-
no, that's the
all
thing.
of us gonna
Like
feel a lot better.
we could be completely fucking wrong. Neither
Yeah.
of us gets it.
We could.
That's one of the reasons why I want to go with the
Oh,
other one,
boy.
just in case, because I'm curious.
You know what, Dylan, I love you, but I
Dude,
think
that's fine. If you want to go with Garrett, go with
I-
Garrett.
I think
I'm
I'll-
going to be happy
I
if
think
either
I'll-
of us
I think
get
I'll
it.
go with the Fox and the Hound because I can see that as James Mangold's style.
Yeah.
So
Could I take it for a reduced? Could I get like a reduced point for it if it is Fox and the Hound? Not full points for it, like half a point of 1 point since it's currently 2.
Okay.
Because if it's Fox and the Hound, I don't get it. I at least narrowed it down to the 2.
I'll give you half.
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Fox and the Hound on this one.
None of you get it right.
Fuck you.
What?
Oliver and Company.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not.
Wow.
Oliver and Company
Dang.
was written by the guy who did Logan.
Yes.
And
There were 3 co-writers. He was one of them.
And
Like, seriously?
Matthew was victorious.
I
Wow.
watched that movie so many times on VHS tape. I love that movie too.
never would have thought.
Golly.
I'm actually really shitty because I just fucking remember that I saw a tweet about this like 4 weeks ago.
You know,
I am
you,
victorious.
I saw
gonna
something
look-
about it.
you know what? Here's the thing.
It's
Since
on
none of us
IMDb.
got it right,
Yeah.
none of us can be mad that we didn't get that.
Wait, is that in the trivia section?
I believe it was, yeah. I see it's on the top, and I believe it was in trivia, too.
Did you make sure that it was in trivia?
I looked in there.
If it's not in trivia, we deserve points
Yep.
for it.
Yeah, we do.
Animation
Okay.
screenplay, James Mangold.
Yeah, I believe it said, like, this was one of the first credits.
If it's only a credit, but it's not in the trivia section of that movie, I think
That's
that question should be
crazy.
fucking thrown out.
Agree.
This isn't me being a sore winner, by the way.
I know.
Loser, fuck you. Whatever.
What are we looking up?
See if it was actually.
If it was in the fucking trivia, because if it's not in the trivia, it's disqualified. Because you said
Oh, yeah,
one of the
true.
only fucking qualifiers for this thing is it has to be in the trivia section.
True. Crap. I hope it was. I thought I'd seen it in there, but. I'm gonna have to come up with a new trivia question real quick.
Do 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 do.
Now I kind of hope it's not in there.
Yeah, me too. I want retribution, goddammit.
Although
I
Garrett's
don't see
doing
it
some
in here.
studying too.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. Crap. I thought
Yes.
I saw it in here, too.
We deserve points then.
No, there's a new question.
They still should have the points though. Or no, because we didn't get it. Fuck
Right.
off. Never mind.
nobody else-
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Matthew just lied on national camera.
National
No,
camera.
it's not that he lied. He just didn't look hard enough.
He didn't meet one of the criteria he set for him fucking self. Literally
Is this
one of
still
the only
80s
rules.
animation or
It, I feel like it's whatever Matthew comes up with.
Yep. We'll
Because
stick with the
we
80s.
could have researched it this entire week for a question that got disqualified.
true?
It's either he comes up with it within the next like minute or we get points. At least one.
I'm already on a movie.
All right.
Okay.
What's the category?
80s crime.
Oh well, I'm fucked.
Hey,
Who
I'm
knows?
out.
I might not be that bad at this.
I'll say whatever Garrett says. I'm
Ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners, we get a redemption round.
All right.
Since that one does not count.
This is in trivia. What 80s crime movie was re-released in 2003? The studio wanted rap music to be used in the movie, and the director refused.
I don't know 80s
got
crime
no
movies.
fucking
I'd have to
idea.
pick from a list.
Hmm.
It is one
That
of
was
the
a-
most popular movies of the 80s.
What's the
That was a
difficulty?
curveball.
What's the difficulty?
1983.
Two.
Two.
It's not super hard.
80s crime movie.
I could be an idiot and say Beverly Hills Cop, but that was not 83.
That's more like
Re-release.
action.
Re-released in 2003. Oh man.
Oh boy.
You're gonna kick yourself if you don't get this one, because I'm guessing it's one of your favorite movies.
Oh great.
I'm gonna go just through a generic list on Google.
Good choice.
So do I get to look up stuff too?
If you want to.
Okay.
You can type in 80s crime movies.
Oh, I was gonna look up a
I
specific
think
One of
guess.
them-
yeah, almost
Really?
should because you messed up the first question.
Yes, I know. I'll double.
83.
I'm gonna figure out next week's question right tonight before we leave.
80s crime movie.
Wait.
Oh.
I
I think Garrett knows it.
don't know if this technically counts as crime. Honestly, it probably doesn't. Never mind. I was gonna say risky business, but I don't think that really is a crime, unless it is, and I'm.
Good old young Tom Cruise.
Wait, did you
dancing,
say-
dancing in his button shirt?
Say the question one more time.
What 80s crime movie was re-released in 2003?
Okay.
For like a 20th anniversary.
I'm not saying if it was 20th or not, because that would give the year away.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
But the studio wanted to use rap music in it, and the director said no.
Okay. I got my answer.
Okay.
This time I'm going along with you guys.
We deserve to. We deserve the fucking devices for this fucking episode. You fucked us
Yes,
over.
we do.
This was
Technology,
a
the best thing
curveball.
ever.
Dude, I have no fucking idea what this is.
Also, I didn't know that David Howard Thornton was the mean one in the movie that came out in 2022.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No one remembers it.
Interesting.
Isn't he playing Peter Pan in the? Oh no, he's playing Steamboat Willie. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's Screamboat Willie.
No,
And
his
guess
the
who's
character is Steamboat Willie.
And guess who's not watching it?
Both of us are. None of us are watching it.
The
Me-
fuck do you mean none of us?
Me and Garrett.
I'm still
me,
over
me-
here.
Me and
The
Garrett.
thing is, though, like,
Everybody got their guesses?
crime
Or- John, do
movies.
you have your guess?
oh my
Nope.
god.
No. Okay.
I'm going with Garrett says.
Okay.
And be-
I'm gonna just throw this into the wind, and I definitely know this is not gonna be right. Witness, the Harrison Ford movie.
Scarface.
Oh.
You know what?
Oh. You know
what?
what? That,
He said it's not that hard.
You know what?
Scarface. Yeah.
Yeah.
20 years.
It's got to be Scarface. Got to be. There's no way that it isn't Scarface.
Is that your final answer?
it probably is.
It's
but
mine. It's,
That's our final
I
answer.
think it's all of ours.
I guess, yeah.
It's got to be Scarface.
This is Redemption.
Fucking go.
So we got it right. Yay. Did we get 2 points for that?
I couldn't.
Thank God.
And next week, I double checked to make sure it was in trivia. Next week is 90s disaster movies.
90s disaster.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that would be.
Thank you for looking it
Easier.
up. All right.
Okay, that was
God
that
almighty.
went on longer than it should have, but
And I will let you guys know now.
I don't apologize.
I
Me neither.
I will let you guys know now. The movie next week is not Twister.
cool.
Well,
Thank you for letting us know.
Gee, I wonder what else it could be. It could be Armageddon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Armageddon.
It could be Independence Day. It could be any other disaster movie of the 90s.
But yeah, we are jumping into 2000s sci-fi movies.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yep.
Here we go.
Oh, dibs on going before Matthew, by the way.
Cool. I guess keeping with the tradition of the series, I guess I'll
Yeah, I mean, might as well
pick
go in the
this
circle.
up. Yeah, there were a lot of good choices I could have made with this.
Same.
But yeah, starting with number 10 in 2000 sci-fi. Obviously, we have more of an attachment with this decade because we were all born at this time,
Right.
And we probably grew up on a lot of these movies. So,
I was born
It was-
early 90s. What you talking about?
well, true, but you
Yeah.
Well,
grew
I
up
mean,
in
All of us were
grew
around
up
in the
in this
2000s. All of us were.
decade, and
I
All
didn't
of
really
us
start
were
watching
around
movies
and-
till like 2005 on my own.
yeah,
True.
all of us were around in the 2000s. John was just born in the 30s.
1830s?
yeah,
Shush.
2000 sci-fi was
Shush.
carried on the boom of the 90s science fiction trend with movies like The Matrix and stuff, continuing with a lot of sequels, but we also got a lot more bigger with it. We got more animation science fiction, especially now with CG becoming much more popular.
Right.
And yeah, we got a lot of really interesting movies in this time. So starting with number 10, this is one of those movies that I appreciate more than I enjoy myself, but because of how low budget this movie was and for what it was able to accomplish with very little, I'm gonna have to go with Primer for number 10. This is one of the most confusing, complex indie films that I've ever seen. It might be the most complex just because of how much is going on in this film and how little I understand of it of the few times I've seen it. It's, if you don't know what it's about two inventors who are trying to create a machine at first that will reduce the weight of an object, and then they realized that it has temporal effects on the object, and they could actually use this machine, or the box as they call it, as a time machine. And so they use the time machine on themselves, and they start creating copies of themselves, multiple copies of themselves going back and forth in time, and that creates just this whole chaotic thing going on where they at first they try to profit using this ability that they have, and then they use it to basically turn on each other and become the worst versions of themselves. So Primer is just this movie was made on like $7,000, and it definitely looks like it. It definitely looks like it was made for an extremely low budget, but it's not really the production value that, I mean, the movie is pretty well shot for a movie that cost this much. It was actually shot on film. It does look pretty nice. It's got a lot of they clearly had a lot of different equipment to break up the shots more and, create more dynamic movement with the camera. There's a lot of dolly movement and slider shots in this. But in the acting, I don't think is particularly great. I feel like because I'm pretty sure Shane Carruth was the guy who wrote, directed, and pretty much this was his baby, like, completely. And you can definitely tell that his acting, he's not really much of an actor, because a lot of the acting in this is pretty monotone. This is definitely not the kind of movie that you watch for the emotional core of it, like some other science fiction. This is made for people who are hardcore into this kind of science fiction and are into the idea of time travel and the logistics of what you could actually do with this ability.
And they didn't dumb it down at all.
No. That's what I appreciate the most about this movie. They don't dumb it down at all. They actually, and most of the dialogue involves them talking about, I mean, most of the dialogue does feel very Star Trek-y with a lot of technobabble and stuff like that. But you can definitely tell that they knew or had some idea of what they were talking about.
I had looked it up. I don't remember exactly what the degrees were. I believe he had an engineering degree.
He had a
mathematician,
software engineering. He was going to school for software engineering.
I believe someone else on the set had a physics degree too.
Yeah. You can definitely tell that everyone who was involved with this in terms of like the writing and the story were well versed in this subject.
Yeah.
This is honestly, of all the time travel movies I've seen, this is the one where it feels the most like this could actually be realistic. Yes. Like, it feels the most grounded in terms of how it displays time travel, at least that I've seen.
You mean not Back to the Future?
Sadly, no. But
no DeLorean.
Yeah, obviously.
Like
Do you see those boxes? No style.
Yeah, like I said, this movie feels more like a puzzle than an actual movie to me. Like, it's really fun to try to figure out everything, because I still don't know what the fuck is happening for the majority of the film. I have like the bare logistics of what's actually going on. I need to watch at least like 20 more viewings of this to actually get some, and I still am watching like YouTube videos explaining like the diagram of how everything works.
I understood it for the most part on the first watch.
It's
okay, nerd. God.
Yes, I am.
I did not.
Yeah, we get it. Got it.
So, like I said, it's more a movie that I appreciate more than I like will actually sit down and like get totally well versed, like invested in. But like when a movie is this low budget and is doing so much with it, this movie does so much with so little that, I mean, you have to give it credit for that. Even if you don't enjoy the film, you can at least feel the passion and the intellect behind it. And I
appreciate the impact it had on indie films.
Yeah, definitely. Of what they managed to do with it. So yeah, moving on. Number 9, if my phone will load this up. This is a movie that I feel like a lot of people get turned off by the ending. They enjoy the first two acts of this movie, and then the third act kind of ruins it for them. But honestly, the third act does not ruin this film at all for me, and this is Sunshine. This is directed by Danny Boyle, who is one of my favorite directors. This came out in 2007. It stars a lot of famous people now. Cillian Murphy, Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, Michelle Yeoh, Cliff Curtis. This has got a lot of people in it. And oh, Hiriki Sanada is in this too, who's huge right now. So yeah, this movie's got a ton of people that you know. But yeah, if you don't know, this movie is about this team of scientists who are going because in this world or this in this universe that the film creates, the sun is dying out, and they're trying to reboot it using this huge payload of this big nuclear device that will explode when it reaches the sun, and it will restart it basically. So, and they don't know if it'll work exactly, and they run into a bunch of problems, including the previous team, which was this team is named Icarus 2, so obviously there was an Icarus 1, and there's a lot going on with that I don't really want to spoil. So, yeah, Sunshine I think is super well directed. I love how Danny Boyle directs things. Just brings a real kinetic energy to it that not a lot of directors do. I love the effects look great even for 2007. The acting is top notch from Cillian Murphy and Chris Evans. This is one of my favorite Chris Evans performances. There's a lot of suspense. The music in the film, I cannot bring this film up without bringing up the music. It's become iconic at this point, and many other films and trailers still use it to this day, including Wonder Woman 1984 used this music, like one of the pieces from this film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one more famous pieces, I can't remember what it was called, but
I did not know that. Interesting.
But
I've
yeah.
got it. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Sunshine. But it does, bringing up the third act, it definitely does feel like it does take a little bit of a sharp turn in the third act involving another character, and I feel like it does change the film up to where it was initially going, but I don't think the film is ruined by that at all, and I feel like it provides a nice break of pace for the film. I think it does not ruin the experience of watching it for me, and I think the ending, like the actual ending itself, is very beautiful. And yeah, this is just a really solid, simple science fiction film.
Maybe I don't
definitely.
remember it, but doesn't it go in like a more horror direction for the
It
third
does.
act? Yeah.
It does. And speaking of horror, my number 8 is a film that also has a very divisive ending, and another film from 2007, The Mist. This is, of course, the Stephen King. This is the Stephen King adaptation by one of my favorite directors who have only directed 4 films, Frank Darabont. This man has directed only 4 feature films, and I love every single one of them. Even the one with Jim Carrey, The Majestic. I really like The Majestic. I don't care what anyone says.
This is like me with Garrett Edwards.
Yeah, Frank Darabont. Man, I wish this guy would come back to direct a movie, because this man is so goddamn good. This is the guy who brought us The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile,
Yeah.
2 of my all-time favorite movies. And The Mist, I think it may not be on the same level as some of those other movies that he's done, but I still think this is a really great, simple horror film that has a lot of science fiction elements. It takes place primarily in a grocery store that's surrounded by this mist of creatures. And the thing about the film is that there are 2 versions of it. And I have the Blu-ray of it that has an intro by Frank Darabont, who initially wanted to do the film in black and white. And the film came out in color. But the Blu-ray has a black and white version. And watching the black and white version, you can really tell, because in the intro itself, he said that he wanted to approach this film kind of like a 1950s Ray Harryhausen movie with kind of those same kind of creature effects that look almost stop motion in a way, even though this film has CG. And I will admit the CG in the film is not great. The creatures don't look real by any stretch, but I think that they're well designed, in my opinion. And when you watch it in black and white, you can definitely tell that influence of Ray Harryhausen science fiction monster films, and it really does give the sense more of like a Twilight Zone type of movie, especially with the already established plot.
Yeah.
But no, I think the acting in the film is great. Thomas Jane delivers a really great performance in this. Marcia
Definitely
Gay
traumatizing though.
Marcia Gay Harden as Mrs. Carmody, one of the most hateable, evil fucking characters in any goddamn movie. And what happens to her at the end, I want to get up and clap every time what she gets near the end of this movie. She plays that character so well, and she is so good at being the most evil religious bitch you've ever seen.
She's up there with that girl from Harry Potter from
yeah,
Lord of the
easily.
Rings.
Oh my god. It's up there with Frank Darabont. Really is good at creating characters that are well acted, but you also just cannot stand, like Percy in The Green Mile, or some of the other, like the Warden in Shawshank. He's so good at that. The ending of this movie is one of the most talked about endings in all of cinema history, and I won't get into it in case you haven't seen it. It will leave you spellbound. It will leave you shaken for days. It is the thing that will
questioning your life choices.
Yeah, it's the thing that will make or break this movie for you. Most people I know like the movie up until the ending, and then the ending makes them like, oh fuck this movie, I hate it. I love the ending of this movie. I think it is shocking, it is tragic, but I think it really even Stephen King really liked how Frank Darabont ended the movie, because the book has basically no real ending. The book stops as soon as they leave the store and they're just driving off. So Frank Darabont, this ending was his idea, and I think it was ballsy, but I think it paid off.
Dramatic.
It is traumatic. It definitely is.
I agree that it paid off.
Speaking of traumatic, the scene with the spiders in this movie, giant freaking spiders, hate it. It's just really creepy stuff going on with those. And the CG is not great, but I do really like the creatures in it. And one last thing I'll talk about is that I like how the film has almost no musical score until the creatures come out into the film, and pretty much the entire film is very silent and very quiet. And I really appreciate about that film. So yeah, The Mist, the ending, despite the ending, I still think this is one of my favorite science fiction films of 2007.
Right on.
And another 2007 film. Have like 3 in a row here. But this is one that not a lot of people have heard about, but I think this is another time travel film, and I think it's one of the most underappreciated and most underlooked, and that is Time Crimes. This is a 2007 Spanish film. It is Spanish language, so you'll have to deal with subtitles. But this is a low budget time travel film that deals with. It's not nearly as complicated as Primer is. It has a more simple idea, but it's about a man who is living at home, and he gets chased by this guy in this wrapped in these bandages, with these pair of scissors, and he ends up stepping into a time machine with this scientist that is operated by this scientist guy, and he goes back in time a few hours before that, and it basically creates this time loop of these different events that lead up to him realizing who the Bandaged Man is. And if you're looking hard into the my reading between the lines of what I'm saying, you probably can tell what is going on here. But I won't get into it because I think this film is really smart. It's really intense. The acting is terrific, and it's really well directed. It's just a really fun, at times disturbing, but in all, it's just a very fun little idea that they really take advantage of, and they explain the time travel thing very well in this. It's much more of an enjoyable film for me than Primer is, and that's why it's higher up on the list. And it's much easier to follow, like I said.
All of this to my list.
Yeah, this is a very fun.
out.
It's kind of it's got a lot of thriller and horror elements, but it
Okay.
at its heart, it's very much a science fiction film. So yeah, definitely check that out. Number 6 is my first 2009 film on the list. I think it's the only 2009 film on the list. It was very hard to choose from that year. But number 6 is going to be District 9. This is one of the favorites of this decade in terms of science fiction, just in terms of how it instantly shot up Neil Blomkamp as the director to look out for. Unfortunately, Neil Blomkamp kind of went downhill after this movie. Even though I like Elysium, I did not like Chappie at all.
It wasn't that good.
No, Chappie, in my opinion, is a terrible film.
I haven't watched
heard a
Elysium
whole
yet.
lot of good
Elysium
things
is
about
pretty good. It's
Yeah,
not as good as District 9, but it's good.
I've got the DVD. I just haven't
But
watched it yet.
Gran Turismo I did like, however, that came out last year.
I've not watched that yet either.
it. Same.
It's pretty good. I hope Neil Blomkamp tries to stick in that lane, so he doesn't try to do. I think he's not only good at sci-fi. I don't think he has to keep doing sci-fi.
Well, I know he's
to
working
keep
on
his-
District 10.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I am very excited to see that though. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, District 9 is a great mix of all different types of genres, making it taking the idea of alien invasion and making it something that's very grounded and very relevant to today's society
Yeah.
in terms of immigration, terrorism, all that stuff, making it feel like you were part of this environment with all the documentary aspects, especially in the opening. The opening 10 minutes of the film with the found footage kind of style is one of my favorite opening sequences of any film in this decade. I think it establishes the world and idea so well. And I think the film is just overall just a really great film. I love the bond between the main character. I can't remember what his name was. Charlotte Copley.
Yeah, I don't remember.
What is that character's name? It's something weird. It's a really weird name. Wickus Van de Merwe.
Oh, okay.
I hope I'm pronouncing that
It's a
right.
mouthful.
Wickus.
Wicked?
And I can't remember what the main alien's name was. But I really like that bond between Wickus and the alien. And I like the bond that they share. Initially, Wickus is very much against these creatures,
Yeah.
but over the course of the movie, he starts to become one. And I'm not really spoiling anything by that. I'm sure the trailer
No.
gave that away. So the CGI in the film for the budget that this was made on is incredible.
Mm.
The action scenes are great. The alien creatures are very well designed, and it's a very smart movie, and it's a very crowd pleasing one too. And I'm there. It's no clue why this film got all the awards nominations and wins that got in the year that this came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on to number 5, 2008 film, and in my opinion, one of the greatest found footage films ever made, Cloverfield. One of the most memorable experiences I've ever I had in my younger years at the theater. I saw this in IMAX when this
Holy
came
crap.
out. I was 8 years old when I saw this.
Oh.
This movie, I remember how loud this movie was. Seeing this, it was one of the greatest theatrical experiences I'd ever had.
What's the GOAT? Matt Reeves.
Yeah, Matt Reeves. This movie put him on the map in terms of directing. yeah, you might a lot of people when it comes to found footage films are not a fan of the idea that they have to, whatever happens in the film, the character who's filming just never puts the camera down, and that is the only thing that's kind of distracting about the found footage in this film is that there really are a few moments where they really don't need to be filming.
Right.
But other than that, though, like this film is just a thrill ride. This film like establishes the characters in the first 15 minutes, and then right then and there, the film just goes to 100 in a millisecond.
Yeah.
Like everything that you could possibly expect to see in a monster film happens like right away. I think the special effects in the film are terrific. You can definitely tell that this had money behind it with J.J. Abrams. There's so many thrilling sequences in the film that it's hard to really find the most thrilling. This movie's PG-13, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
This movie has one of the most shocking and disturbing death scenes in any PG-13 film that I've ever seen. With Lizzie Kaplan, when she gets bit by one of those creatures and then is dragged behind that plastic sheet.
Yeah. I totally
my
forgot
God,
about it. It's
dude.
been minutes since I've seen Cloverfield.
Yeah, just
need to
explosion
rewatch
of
it.
blood, and I'm just shocked that a PG-13 got away with that.
Especially human blood.
Yeah.
Because they allow gore now, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Beetlejuice had a lot of blood. And
Yeah.
shockingly.
Yeah, I've noticed they allow gore, especially if it's not human.
Yeah. Just turn it green and
Yeah.
Yeah.
PG film. But yeah, Cloverfield is just awesome.
Yeah, when I first watched it, for some reason I had a weird feeling in my stomach when I watched it. I did love it, but man, my stomach felt weird for some reason.
Joel
a
was
lot
getting
of
flashbacks.
for a lot of people, a lot of people I've known get motion sick when they watch movies like this, where the camera is just shaking all over the place. I've never really had that issue with movies like this, not with found footage films, at least.
Only film I ever got motion sick was Gravity, where their spinning scene.
I never got sick during Gravity, but
Yeah.
but I can understand it. But yeah, moving on from Cloverfield, it was really tough. Not putting this one higher, but there were 3 other movies that I feel like mattered more to me personally. But number 4, Children of Men. One of the finest films of this century so far. Truly, this film is a masterwork by Alfonso Cuarón. Some of the greatest cinematography and camera work that we've ever seen in any movie. The shot where they're inside the car and they're being attacked is one of the greatest sequences I've seen ever in a film. The acting is phenomenal, from Clive Owen to Chiwetel Ejiofor, Julianne Moore, Michael Caine in the brief moment that he's in the film for. Not only is the cinematography great, the production is so great. It's a really touching story. It's a really emotional story about what if in this world that has pretty much become infertile with human birth and childbirth, that one person is the last person to maybe give birth in the planet, and it's just a race against time, and it's a race to save this person, and it's just a movie that celebrates the joy of human life, and it's a really touching film, and it's thrilling. It's got everything that you could ask for in a movie like this, and it's Children of Men. If you haven't seen this movie, do yourself a favor and watch it.
That was the one that I was trying to remember to watch this past week.
Yeah.
I totally blanked on it.
We'll do a review rewind of it sometime in the next
I
couple months.
didn't even get a chance to watch District 9 or Children of Men, which I wish I did.
Yeah, I really needed to.
There are lots of great movies I need to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got both, so.
Moving on to number 3, this is a movie from a director that I had to put up on this list, this does count as sci-fi, even though the idea of the film might not persuade you to that. But Number 3 is The Prestige.
Yes, okay.
One of
I was going to put that on my list.
I had to put a Christopher Nolan on
Yeah.
this list somehow, and
I had no idea this was sci-fi.
It
is,
is.
yeah.
It
No
is a
idea.
science
Then I
fiction
looked it up,
film.
and I was like, "Yay, it's gonna be on there."
Yeah.
But yeah, The Prestige is another masterpiece from Christopher Nolan. Has 2 outstanding lead performances from Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, playing multiple roles in this duel between magicians that involves not just elements of fantasy, but also science fiction in the way everything is revealed.
Yeah.
It has one of his greatest twists ever. There's just so many great twists and turns and reveals of information that really just keep you. This is a film that keeps you guessing from beginning to end, and it just keeps doing it to you, like any good magician or magic act should do to you. It's a film that is just a thrilling, fun, and also it's a challenging film because this film makes you question the character's motives and ethics all throughout.
Yeah.
Come to the end of it, you're not really sure who to really root for. I think it's a brilliant film that way. Number 3 is The Prestige.
This isn't really me being a fanboy, but are there really any movies you can say that Nolan doesn't make a masterpiece of? Because literally every film he does is a masterpiece.
I love Christopher Nolan, but I'm not gonna say that every film of his is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
There's a few that that do have some pretty serious flaws, but
I'm not the biggest fan of Dunkirk or Memento.
I love both of those.
Yeah.
But
I did too.
Memento was really good in my opinion.
Number 2, I did put an animation on this list.
Yeah.
Because this is a film that's very near and dear to my
Oh,
heart.
I know what it is. Okay.
Wall-E.
Never mind.
This is what'd you think I was gonna
I thought it was
put?
going to be Treasure Planet.
No, that's on your list.
Well,
Really?
no shit, it's on my list, but we talked about Treasure Planet
I
before.
like Treasure Planet, but it's not Wall-E.
No,
I mean,
I
good
get you.
God.
I get you. Okay. I was wrong on that. I should have said
Wall-E
shit.
it might be Pixar's done so many classic and masterful films.
Yeah.
Wall-E, in many ways, is their most impressive film, just in terms of how much of the film is told visually without any dialogue. I mean, the first 20 minutes of the film, where Wall-E is just on the planet alone, doing what he does with all the garbage that the humans leave on Earth. It's one of the most, right away, you just love the look of the film. As dirty as it is, it has, when it starts off very sepia tone, very ugly on Earth, and it's supposed to be. And then when you get up to outer space and the giant space ship, I can't remember what they call it, but
it was by and large. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it's just a giant ship in space where all the humans live, and it's still one of the most relevant films that they've made, just in terms of all the messaging and commentary that is still very much, I think, is going to come true.
I've not seen Wall-E.
You've not seen
Are you
Wall-E?
fucking kidding me?
Come
Matthew,
on.
how did you not see Wall-E?
Dude!
Oh, fuck.
God
What
almighty!
the fuck?
What is the matter with you?
What?
I'm going to keep going. Fuck me. Okay.
Can I walk off?
I'm doing it for both of us.
Yeah, we're both walking out. Goodbye.
Don't leave me here.
No,
Come on.
Garrett, I'll listen, but I'm going to be down the hall.
I'll walk down the hall with you. Might be my turn. Let me know it's my turn.
No. Don't leave me. Shit.
I guess you're stuck with me,
Oh, God.
the loser who hasn't seen Wall-E.
God. God damn it. Yeah, Wall-E. This is a film that emotionally gets to me. The relationship between Eve and Wall-E, even without any real dialogue between them, and just them saying their names back and forth to each other. It's just.
You want to put the middle
special.
finger on camera, Dyllan? You want to?
There you go. You can see it.
You were flipping off Garrett, not me.
Bullshit, I was flipping off Garrett.
Okay.
I specifically
Okay,
aimed.
Matthew.
I was looking through the fucking...
Matthew, You
have homework. to
your
do.
your hot,
Seriously,
your hot take on Toy Story was bad enough, but Wall-E, God,
The fact that
almighty.
you haven't even seen it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Please continue, Garrett, with your amazing review of
watch
Wall-E.
it before this year is
Admittedly.
over. They want me to watch Spaceballs. Watch Wall-E before
Yeah.
this year is over.
Sir, you were
Buddy.
campaigning for him to watch Blood and Honey, but you won't fucking watch Wall-E.
One, honey, I passed on it now, so we're not talking about it anymore. Moving on, get
yeah.
to number one.
Garrett, please continue.
okay.
Please.
Number 2 is Wally.
Okay. Yeah, great review.
In case you
Yeah.
couldn't tell. Number 1. This is a film that is I watched like a decade ago, and to me, it's a film that is very special to me for some reason, and I'm not sure really why. But it's just a film that I can watch any day of the week, and it's one of the director's best. This is a Minority Report. This is one of Spielberg's most. I know critics love this film. This film does not get nearly enough attention when it comes to like Spielberg's best films.
No,
because I think
it
this
doesn't.
is one
It
of
should, though.
this is one of his best directed films. Just in terms of what he does with all the effects and all the technology of like all the technology that like I never realized until like a few years ago. Much of it is actually pretty much here.
Yeah.
With all the touch screens and the motion tracking stuff, the eye scanners, all that stuff is somewhat like here now and very current.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what year does this take place in. It's not too terribly far off either.
I think like 2029 or something.
2029. Yeah, we might be.
Dang, I was
literally-
right.
No, I'm gonna make sure first.
Oh, okay. I thought you just said I was right. I was like, man, I'm good.
Report.
Well, we'll have caught up by then.
2054.
Okay, I was right.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have caught up by then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh no, that's Terminator.
I love how Spielberg directs this film. I mean, Spielberg is just doing what Spielberg does, but I just love how he creates this world. I love like this is not usually the type of thing that Spielberg is like most known for, like hard sci-fi like this, but he's so good at it. Especially with this one.
This is another Philip K. Dick novel.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite like adaptations of his, along with Blade Runner. I love the ideas of destiny, and are we truly are the actions that we do truly set in stone for the future, or do we have actual choice? And I feel like that's still a very relevant thing, and it's about, it's very much a part of that common phrase, should the punishment come before the crime? And I think that's still very relevant. Tom Cruise, I think, does a fantastic job in this film. One of his best performances.
Yes.
Max von Sydow, of course, is great in this. Samantha Morton, who is not usually talked about much, but as Agatha the Precog, she is amazing in this. You also have a younger Colin Farrell, also very good. And yeah, a few other people, but yeah, I love this film to death. I'm not sure why it sticks with me so much, but it's just a film that really does speak to me. And
That's a movie I need to rewatch more
favorite. It's
often.
my favorite sci-fi film of the 2000s.
Nice.
Before you get to the list, John, there's something after we're all done that I want to briefly discuss.
Okay.
It's something we talked about in the chat the other day.
Okay.
Oh.
The 28 thing.
28 thing. Oh
I want
yeah.
to discuss that a little bit.
Okay. I want to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send the current timestamp to me.
Okay.
It's 54.
Okay.
I am so disappointed in you.
Yeah.
You.
that was.
I will
honestly,
never get that out of my head now.
I'm
After all
surprised how
this.
different our lists were. I figured ours would have been pretty close.
So mine's very different from most of you guys.
You haven't
From
got
mine
a
at
single
least,
one on my
yeah.
list.
Really?
But I also made sure. Yeah, which was really surprising because I put some
not
on my
even
list.
not even like District 9?
No, okay, so I'll explain how I did my list later, but it's the same kind of thing that I've been doing these past couple weeks where I didn't load up on movies that I knew would be on your guys' list. I have some that are shared or that I thought would be shared.
I think
This
we
is
had-
gonna be very interesting.
It will be,
Um,
yeah, you know,
I
100%.
think
Yeah.
we had 2 or 3 of the same. Only.
That only 2 or 3. That's insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
My list is definitely gonna be different. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about more like films like Time Crimes that I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of people haven't heard of.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? The fact that we were talking about how Matthew had not seen Wall-E, and then we put Bun Honey in the same sentence. Which, by the way, fans, yes, I'm voting Bun Honey like the plague again. Okay, going to my
Screw
list.
you.
All right.
Get to your list.
All right.
Boo.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do have a lot of apologizing for one of the movies. I'm going to get to in this one. So starting off,
Everybody, get your pitchforks ready.
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I have
Eyebrows
no idea.
immediately
I have
narrowed.
no idea. How many of my films are on this list of yours? Like, because
let
he
me
said
see.
like 2 or 3.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Only 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
This might be really interesting. We
shit.
all might have totally different lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
and this so at number 10, this one I'm actually surprised that you didn't put on the list, and this is where the apologizing comes in. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith at number 10.
Yeah, I
You do not have to apologize for that. I'm going to tell you that right
I like
fucking
Revenge.
now.
I'm not a fan of the prequels. I like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of people love Revenge of the Sith. You guys do.
Yeah.
And I
I don't-
totally respect you for that, guys. I love the film
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
I
And
don't
it-
love it, but I do like it.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
be very
really
happy
love
with
it.
me.
It is my favorite.
fucking better be.
It is my favorite of the prequel trilogy. It's fantastic. I love the whole thing.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's that horse on
the
things.
nitpick, the Darth Vader nose scene. It still bothers me.
It-
That's the
It's-
only nitpick
yeah.
I have with this film.
I
The rest, it's fine.
I
The
think
rest is
my-
fine. I
It's
love
in
it.
character.
the thing that
That's all
still
I'll say.
holds the film back for me for the most part, because obviously Ewan McGregor is very good as Obi-Wan. I think Hayden Christensen is better in this film than he was in Attack
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
Clones. Absolutely. Still not. I'm not the biggest I have no issue with Hayden Christensen at all. I'm
Me
sure
neither.
he's a very great guy. I just don't think he, for me anyway, fit the role of Anakin. For me at least, and for a lot of other people will disagree.
Yeah, there
with that,
are
sure.
are definitely a lot
And,
of other people that
I
share
still
that
think the
sentiment.
romantic dialogue in these prequel movies, even in this one, are not good. I'm sorry.
It's best in Attack of the Clones. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
His one movie traumatized me. Awake,
uh,
where he wakes up during open heart surgery.
I have not seen that. I've
That's a
seen
horror
I haven't
movie.
that either.
I've seen Shattered Glass is a very underrated movie that Hayden Christensen is
It's
in.
him and Jessica Alba, I think.
I have not seen
Huh.
that.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. You should check it
Yeah,
out.
I heard a lot of people have more appreciation for Hayden Christensen when he showed up.
Now-
in,
now
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
they do.
Obi-Wan
But-
Kenobi
yeah.
TV show, yeah.
A lot. This is my problem with this revisionist history that people seem to have for these prequels. Back then, it was like this appreciation. It seems like only our generation who were kids when these movies came out are the ones talking about it. A lot of other people back then were not fans of even this one. Still, and
yeah.
I just feel like there still needs to be discussion about from people who criticize these movies still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still feel like these movies are still fair to criticize.
Yes,
It doesn't,
they are.
I still don't. I don't care who you are, but yeah,
No, the
it just seems like everyone is ignoring all the hate, like all the criticism and backlash these movies got, and I'm just not a fan of that.
no, it's not
So-
a fat. Sorry, John.
No,
Oh,
I get
no,
it.
you're fine, buddy. You're right ahead.
Being the person who's in the fandom the most by far. No, it's not so much like people are ignoring the fact that it was hated. People are acknowledging that. Like at least on like the half of the fandom that I'm on,
Right.
people are acknowledging that. But the issue is that it's an acknowledgement to people who are. It is that revisionist kind of thing where it's commonly the people who are hating on the sequels where they're like, oh well, when George was in
That's
control and all
why.
that shit. It's like
That's why.
no, people still fucking hate it. People hated the original Star Wars. People hated Empire. People hated Return. It's been a
But
thing
not
this
the ma-
entire fucking time.
Unlike with Phantom Menace, though, and not the majority.
No, I feel like a majority of the people who watch every single Star Wars movie like the movie. That's
Yeah.
my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Either they like it as a Star Wars fan, or they like it as somebody who has watched Star Wars for the
Right,
first
And
time
exactly.
and I'm
that night.
sorry, Empire and Phantom Menace are not even close to the same level.
They're not. No. I'm not saying that.
So yeah,
let me be clear.
I figure. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's these people that are like, oh well, George Lucas could do no fucking wrong, and the new sequel sucks.
Of course he could.
They're about on fucking par.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
no, the matter of the fact is, people fucking like you were saying, there was a lot of fucking hate for these movies when they came out. Sane people admit to that. It's just people don't talk about that. The people
True.
like our age are the people who are driving the conversations today in the fandom, and it's these same people who grew up with the movies, who have that kind of love for the movies, who are directing those kinds of conversations about the movies.
But
That's what it is.
I feel like the quality of a movie needs to be shouldn't be decided when it comes out.
No.
But should be decided like at least maybe a decade. Standing the test of time is what a movie should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why so many
absolutely.
people remember the good movies of the 80s or the 90s or even the 2000s. Like,
Yeah.
people remember the good ones. They tend to forget the ones that were actually bad.
Like Mac and me.
yeah. And a lot of people are
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing that revisionist history thing with like Spider-Man 3, which I still don't like. I'm sorry.
Dude,
But,
that's fine. Again, I grew up with that. I like it because I grew up with it, but it's a shit
Yeah.
movie. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
No hate to Sam Raimi, obviously.
No.
Yeah,
even,
absolutely.
even he.
Yeah,
even
no,
he
it
will
was the studios.
Defend you.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's our conversation for another time.
Continue, John. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Don't start on Star Wars.
No.
Yeah.
We got time for my number one.
Oh, spoilers, of course.
Yeah, sorry guys. We
No,
all
It's not
fucking
really a
do.
spoiler.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Yep.
But yeah, I kind of knew I was going to be the only one that's going to have it at number 10.
Yes.
Even though I do love the movie, there will be more talk about Star Wars soon.
Yes. Very
if
soon.
you know what I
Skeleton
mean.
Crew.
Yeah.
All right, so that comes to number 10. Number 9, a little surprised you didn't mention this one. M. Night Shyamalan's Signs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like this movie. I just wouldn't put it in my top 10.
Same.
I loved it. Surprisingly, I loved this movie. I was so captivated by this whole movie, and when I was watching it for the very first time, I thought to myself, I'm kind of digging this one. I really like it.
That
And
kind of leans more into horror a little bit too, so I'm surprised you like
It's
that.
Yeah.
for me.
it's
this-
more sci-fi
This
than
is
horror.
this
for
is
me.
this has been a hot topic of debate since this movie was released. But like it has the most stupid alien species in probably any movie.
Oh,
being afraid of-
No, he's
They're
right. He's
going
right.
to a planet of 70% water, even though they're harmed and killed by water.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can't get through pantry or wooden doors.
It makes
So,
me wonder what was on their displays when they were approaching. Like, did you
I
look
don't
out the
know.
window at any
It-
point?
I like the movie, but that is a problem.
Yes,
It is.
yeah, it's glaring.
Well,
yeah.
here's the funny thing. As a guy that, honestly, the man I fear the most, and my Shyamalan, I'm scared of this guy, okay?
Why? He's one of the most kind people in Hollywood.
No, I say that because, for me, he's made more bad movies than good movies. Which
Okay.
He's an
True.
interesting director. He's a very interesting guy.
He's got a certain range.
Yeah.
It's always
But-
one
but-
extreme.
Even when the only two movies where Shyamalan's movies were like horrificly bad in my opinion were The Last Airbender and After Earth. Both those movies
Okay, yeah.
are bad in ways that are not
Oh
even
boy,
fun.
The Last Airbender.
After
Ugh,
Earth,
that was
After
so-
Earth is
that
one
was
of the
so
most
awful. I hated it
soulless
so
and
much.
unenjoyable pieces of garbage out there.
I refuse
But,
to. I refuse to watch After Earth. I
It's
refuse to watch
terrible.
it.
It's terrible.
I need to
The
rewatch
Happening
it.
is a masterpiece.
It is not.
I love The Happening. Lady,
Thank you.
it's a terrible movie. Of course it is, but I love watching it.
I
And
do too.
same thing with Lady in the Water. Lady in the Water is ridiculous. It is so insane. I love it though.
I love The Happening. Thank you.
Lady in the Water though is just
I've not seen
crazy. It's crazy. It's just insane. But
Boy, the 2000s was a weird decade, wasn't it?
for Shyamalan, like went from like Oscar darling to like Last Airbender in the happening.
Yeah, and also, I actually will defend the alien designs
They're not bad.
and the water plot twist, and the reason why is because I could accept it for how the aliens got defeated, which is weird that I'm saying that I defend
The
it.
strength
even though
of the
it's-
movie
yeah.
is in the performances from Mel Gibson,
Yes.
Joaquin, and
Yeah,
all those.
I
all
had
those
no idea that
guys.
Joaquin Phoenix was
Um,
in it, and I thought, wait, that's Joaquin Phoenix.
Mhm.
He looks so young.
Yeah, Mel Gibson is amazing in this
He is,
film.
he's great. I love the kids too.
Yeah, the kids are pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think it is still one of M Night's better movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and Signs actually happened to be surprisingly my number one favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, which I did not see that coming. But yeah, I enjoy Signs. Coming in at number 8 is a movie that is very underappreciated, and that is Treasure Planet.
Yes.
Now, to truly realize why this movie deserves a lot of appreciation, you got to understand that this was a very tough time for Disney in the
Yep.
2000s. After the 90s, Renaissance was pretty much over. They got to 2000. They started with Fantasia 2000. It bombed. Then they tried with Atlantis, which it just missed the list, by the way. It just missed it.
I prefer Atlantis over Treasure Planet, but
Well, I do love Atlantis, although I thought the villain was too obvious.
Yeah.
Honestly.
villains aren't great.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, they try with Atlantis, so they want to do something very different, which I get credit for Disney for that, for trying to do something very different. But unfortunately, it did not perform at the box office. It wasn't appreciated at the time.
Even Emperor's New Groove was not a hit at the box office.
No,
either.
and that's a
That
comedy
came out-
classic.
Yeah, even though people love it, it's like even when it came out, it still wasn't. It still didn't do any favor. And if you know the history of Emperor's New Groove behind the scenes,
It's interesting.
it makes it
It's
even
very
more
interesting.
fascinating.
But yeah, they did with Atlantis, and then the movie did well with Lilo and Stitch, so they got back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like stuff like The Lion King and stuff, the live action,
Yeah.
but that's what they should be doing. Is they should be remaking
They're
Atlantis and
they're
Treasure Planet.
lesser popular
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
The ones that Atlantis would fit perfectly in live action. Treasure
Yes.
Planet
Planet would be amazing.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Get
they could
Spielberg
really
to
nail it.
direct
not,
it.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, not shit
Here-
like this.
Spielberg directing Treasure Planet.
Yeah. No.
Even-
that fucking worked really well.
Even Peter Jackson would do something really cool with
Yeah,
this.
he would.
Even I think I mean a lot of directors would be good with Atlantis.
I think Peter Jackson will be better with Atlantis and Spielberg with Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have another one that I'd prefer for Treasure Planet. John Watts.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Because
cool.
he, I don't want him to be, like he fills a kind of role. I don't know what the equivalent of a typecast for a director is.
Well, he's
but-
he has a movie that's coming out pretty soon on
Yeah.
Apple TV with George Clooney, Wolves. And
Okay.
he directed a pretty cool movie called Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. And
Okay.
I want to see that.
this is a movie that I watched before Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I didn't even realize it was him directing. The movie Clown, not it, of course, but it's the one that's just called Clown with the guy who puts on the clown costume and he becomes like a clown monster.
I think I
Did
know
you
what you're
watch
talking
that?
about. I think I know what you're talking about. I've
It-
at least seen
he
clips of it on
directed
TikTok.
that. He directed that. It's
Shit, really?
it's a pretty good movie.
I didn't know that.
That's right
Holy
up your
hell.
alley, Dylan.
Huh?
That's right up your alley.
Fuck off.
Eli Roth produced it too. It definitely feels like an Eli Roth production. But
Huh.
Yeah.
I had
Treasure-
no idea about that.
I like Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
It probably
it's
feels
really
more like
good.
an Eli Roth movie than
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
own directed movie does with
Yeah,
Borderlands.
but yeah, but
Yeah.
then when Lilo and Stitch came out, that's when the movie actually did well. So they wanted to try
Yeah.
to do something different. They've been trying to get this film for years to make was Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when the film came out, the movie flopped, and it lost over $70 million for this movie. And I can kind of understand why, because trying to do something different, and also computer animation was blowing
Yeah,
up.
hand drawn was on its way out.
Yeah,
at that
unfortunately. But honestly, the whole movie Treasure Planet, I found the movie very exciting. I love the animation. I thought the characters were very fun. I love the
Yeah.
robot. The robot is
Ben.
great.
Yeah.
And also the villain, you have a soft spot for the villain. Like
Yeah.
And
Like,
many,
he is dislikable, but he's also lovable at the same time. You root for this guy.
in many areas of the film, he doesn't even feel like a real villain. He just kind of feels like
Which makes him
more
great.
like an anti-hero in a
A
way.
victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Treasure Planet for me, extremely underrated. Absolutely love the movie. It's I personally think it's absolutely fantastic. All right, number 7. You have it at number 1 on the list, The Minority Report. This is definitely one of Spielberg's most underrated films. Absolutely love it. Definitely fantastic.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's underrated because most people I know love this movie, but whenever like best Spielberg movies are mentioned, like Minority Report's like never on the list.
Yeah, it's a movie that's not mentioned enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it should.
In
It
general,
absolutely
even.
should.
There's a lot of lesser known Spielberg movies that I think are like top 5 material for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Munich. If you have,
But that's a
if
movie
you
that
haven't
I
seen
definitely
Munich.
that's a movie I definitely need to rewatch more times because I do remember loving it.
I need to rewatch Close Encounters. I've only seen it once.
Yeah, but Minority
He has
Report
so
kinda
many
came-
amazing films, though. It's like, good God.
Yeah.
He has some stinkers in there, but like, rarely ever does Spielberg like truly miss. You know?
Yeah, no, agreed.
But I absolutely love Minority
He's
Report.
got multiple decades of good science fiction films because he's got Ready Player One and
Yeah. I really like Ready Player One.
I do
don't
too.
care what
That
anyone
was killer.
says.
Yeah, I assume that's sci-fi too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's futuristic. It's
Dang,
got all that stuff.
I may need to watch that movie too.
It's the technology aside, the environment alone makes it a sci-fi movie.
It,
Because
it,
it's
it
the same
takes place
kind
in the
of
future.
Yeah, it's kind of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Almost any movie that takes place in a future is usually
Yeah,
sci-fi.
generally, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything more than like 5 years out is probably considered sci-fi.
Yeah.
Civil
Sure.
War is the movie Civil War that came out this year is technically sci-fi.
It
Well,
is,
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, Minority Report, I absolutely love it. So that comes in number 7. That film actually received great reviews by critics. Number 6 on the list was not very well received. It was very mixed, but it's on the list anyway, and I will defend this movie with a passion. It is actually my top 2 favorite disaster movies. The Day After Tomorrow. Now,
shit!
you can
That's
change.
not on my list.
You can change your list if you want to. You can go ahead and put it on there if you wanted to. So anyway, now guys, listen. I know that not a lot of people love this movie. I know that, but this actually got me into disaster movies, and I remember watching it for the first time and absolutely loving it. I found the movie
It's
to
so
be
many kinds of disaster movies in one movie.
That's
Yeah,
It's
true.
got literally.
But I found this
It's got
movie to be-
tornadoes. It's got hurricanes. It's got ice storms. It's got everything in there.
Yeah. But I found this movie to be so much fun, so exciting. Seeing all the weather changes all in one movie, I
Yeah.
find it to be so cool. Jake Gyllenhaal is great.
Dennis
the love interest between Jake Gyllenhaal and another actress.
Who was that actress?
I can't
I'm
remember.
spacing.
I
It's been a
can't
second.
remember.
It's got to be someone that's.
I got to
well-known.
look it up for myself too. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. You can. keep
Okay, but yeah, I love Day After Tomorrow and the special effects. Do I love the special effects?
Yeah, it's
They're
solid.
good.
It looks amazing.
That's a movie I need to rewatch too.
yeah.
It's been a minute.
And also,
Oh, Emmy Rossum.
Oh, yeah.
From Shameless and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And also, I know people hate Rowan Emmerich. I kind of love Rowan Emmerich. I
yeah,
kind
I'm
of
not.
I kind of love the guy. I personally think he's one of the more underappreciated directors, at least for me.
Aside from Independence Day, The Patriot, and
Godzilla.
no,
No.
those might be the only 2 films I would consider good. Everything else, is
Well,
just like
I like
honestly,
2012.
you know,
I
I
don't
like 2012.
2012 is, in my not a good film. it's
It's
I like
not
it.
a good film.
way too goddamn long. It did not need to be 3
Yeah,
hours.
I will admit, the
I don't
film's
think
a little
I've seen
too
it since
long,
2013.
It's not a good film. The standout is the effects.
That's
easily.
Literally, I mean, that's every one of his
Yeah, I
movies.
was
The
gonna
effects
say.
might be good, but the story and characters
Yeah.
are just dreadful.
Yeah, honestly, this is my version of Zack Snyder. Like, people love Zack Snyder, but I prefer Emmerich's direction more than Snyder's.
I am
At least for
confused.
me, anyway.
I don't see these two.
I
in
know it's
any way-
crazy, but
Yeah, I don't see the
intertwined.
comparison. I
I don't know. I am very confused.
Is it just like you?
Is it just because they have like distinct styles.
Yeah,
or-
like
Yeah,
why
yeah.
the comparison to Zack Snyder
their
specifically?
styles are so
I-
different.
Because I heard a lot of people like they still love Zack Snyder for his directing, but his only setback is director's cuts. Rowan Emmerich, they only hate him because of disaster movies, which I want more
'Cause he's
disaster
not-
movies. So
He's usually not good at it. Well, other than it seems like other than the Patriot.
don't rub your eyes. You have not seen Wally. You don't get a pass, Matt.
No, if he's
That's
seen this
true.
fucking movie, he fucking gets it.
I've seen all of Roland Emmerich's like big movies.
Well, he has nothing to do with this, John. What?
The reason why I'm still so against Roland Emmerich is because it might solely be because of Independence Day resurgence. Fuck that goddamn movie.
That
Still
was a
haven't seen it.
painful piece of crap.
It was so
I don't-
goddamn awful.
I don't hate it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, how much you want to
One
bet
of
that
the
I'm going to
worst
watch
films
that?
I've ever seen.
Yes.
I think I'm going to watch
For me-
it in the
for
next
me-
week
for
and
me,
be
Dylan,
like, I fucking love it.
The movie is much more watchable than most of the other sequels that were unnecessary.
Okay.
In my opinion, it's,
I thought it was
it's
okay.
The, it might
this
be
sounded
the
like
worst.
the one that sounds like the least necessary.
biggest
sequel,
biggest
in
issue,
my
Will
opinion.
Smith is not in it.
That's
the
not.
biggest-
Yeah,
that
that
is
was
not
the biggest
remotely
issue.
the worst part of it.
That-
I'm
that
telling you
was
that right
a-
now.
No, Will Smith
Con to me.
done himself a favor not being in that.
No, he went
I
instead to be in Suicide Squad. I don't consider that a favor.
I like Suicide Squad
I do too.
Yeah, I was going to say those two are
Boy,
pro
these-
Air
boy, we're
Suicide
on a
Squad.
fun topic, are we? Anyway,
What the
I love The Day After Tomorrow. I found the whole film great. I love the whole
It's
thing.
really good. It's
Yeah,
really good.
it's
It's
fun.
super underappreciated.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
say that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that comes in at number 6. Speaking of underappreciation, number 5 on the list is the movie that I watched, and this actually was the very first Blue Sky animated film that I saw in theaters. Robots.
Oh yeah.
Robots.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is for me one of the most underappreciated animated movies on this list because, first off, I love the whole movie. I still think the animation ages very well.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is great in this movie.
Yeah,
He is so
yeah.
fun.
Mhm.
I love the characters. I thought
at my hand.
I
Look,
thought the
look.
comedy was great.
Isn't Greg Kinnear the villain? He voices the villain.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him. I liked
yeah.
him. in
He
this.
is great.
Since you brought that up, we're doing an episode before the end of the year. Top 5 Robin Williams performances.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm
Robots
on.
will not be on that list because no,
It will
'cause
be
that
on
man
mine.
that man has so many goddamn great performances.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Yes.
true. It's true. For me, it has to be at least, and I
Top
feel like at
maybe top
most
15.
Okay.
one is going
I-
to be
I want-
animated.
I want-
Everything else
I
is going
prefer
to be
him
live
in,
action.
Actually, no. Never mind.
Okay, I want to spoil what's going to be on my Robin Williams movies list,
No.
but I better
Let's
not. Because I already know what's going to be on my list. I already know. But yeah, I love robots. Very underrated and unappreciated. I absolutely love this whole movie.
Yeah, it was one of the ones that got memed about really hard, and it's like you don't
Really?
see
Did it?
you don't
That's
see a lot of
weird.
I don't
other.
remember that.
Well, no, it's kind of the same infatuation with it that there was with Shrek, that there was with the B movie. It was like memed about kind of like that.
I am,
Aunt
I
Fanny
don't
was
remember
beloved
any
by many.
robots memes.
Oh,
I am
goodness
actually
gracious.
shocked at this. Only half my list has even been mentioned. I've
Yeah,
still got
that's
5 movies
crazy.
on my list that haven't even been
That's
mentioned.
crazy.
Yeah, aside from the fact that I changed my number 10 to Day After Tomorrow because I wasn't a big fan of my number 10 where it was.
Oh.
It didn't fit too
So
well.
I made him change his mind. That's
Yeah,
good.
no, you made me change my mind about number 10. But aside
Thank
from
you.
that, only like 1 or 2 of my movies has been mentioned.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, robots is absolutely very fun. Cloverfield is at number 4. I believe you had it at number
5.
5 on your
Yeah.
list, so I liked it just a little bit more.
I love
Uh,
Cloverfield. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong.
I consider there's another disaster movie also.
is.
Yeah.
which I also really love.
But the monster makes it a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really enjoy Cloverfield. It's a great movie. I need to rewatch it more often. It's really great. I believe J.J. Abrams directed this movie.
No, Matt
Oh.
Reeves directed
Oh, Matt
it.
Reeves.
J.J.
Oh,
Abrams
I'm sorry. J.J. Abrams,
produced
Yeah.
it.
producer,
but-
and Matt Reeves. Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very
that's
very
another
different,
film.
of course.
Yeah,
but,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
different.
That's more of a straight up horror
Do
movie.
not recommend Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah, I was about to ask
that
about
movie
that. Yeah.
Sucks.
That it's horrible.
Is
It's terrible.
does Daniel
I
Bruhl
heard
give a
that
good
Netflix
performance in
they
it?
did this
they
weird
dumped
strategy.
it. They showed the trailer for it, the Super Bowl, and then
Yeah.
they said the movie comes out tonight at midnight after the game.
Yeah,
I stayed up.
remember that.
Here's
I
your
stayed up.
marketing,
I
folks.
stayed up to watch it. One of the biggest mistakes of my life.
Does Daniel Bruhl at least give a good performance?
I mean, the acting is not bad, but it's so stupid and it makes no sense.
Okay.
It does not fit into the other movies at all.
And
okay.
It doesn't follow it's own rules. It has no rules, basically. It just
Huh.
does whatever the fuck
Whoops.
it wants.
So you'd say that it's a paradox.
It's a bad movie, is what it's called.
Should I throw that in the bank?
We may have to do a quote. We may have to do a Cloverfield ranking someday.
There's only
that would
3
be
of them,
fun.
though.
Yeah, it would be 3. And
Well, still,
it's
that would
the
be
same order.
Well, still, it would be
1,
fun
2,
to.
3.
It would be fun to do.
Ooh, baby, I just hit 50.
Continue, John.
Okay.
Overlord is a better Cloverfield movie than no, because it's by a bad robot, and
I need to see that.
even though it had nothing to do with
Overlord
Cloverfield,
is good in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe not a great film. but-
All
Wait,
right,
what
let's move on
is
to number
Overlord?
3.
Overlord's great.
yeah, I
Overlord's great.
liked Overlord.
All right, let's get to number 3 on my list. For the third time in these top 10s, another Star Trek movie is on the list. Yeah, it seems like I actually like this franchise.
Star Trek Nemesis.
Wow.
No. That batteries need to be changed with that movie. Which I still love Roger Ebert's.
Did it
quote,
meet
which
its
is-
nemesis?
God.
Shush. No, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah,
Star
Yeah,
I'll
Trek.
throw that
J.J.
out.
Abrams was its nemesis.
If I just got one in the bank for that, you definitely do too.
Yeah. But yes, J.J. Abrams, he pretty much saved the franchise when he directed this movie in 2009. I still absolutely love it, and I'm not going to go into full details. Like I said, guys, if you want to check out for yourself, go check out the Star Trek.
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah.
He made
Yeah,
it-
we talked about.
Abrams made it much more mainstream than it ever had been.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He really
Agreed.
made it into a blockbuster.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's at least one YouTuber that says he was doing a picks of great movies by worst directors. He mentioned J.J. Abrams. I was like, huh? J.J. Abrams is a great director.
Okay, first of all, J.J. Abrams, like, aside from Star Trek, of course, and Star Wars, I don't think he's directed enough movies to, like, fully judge him as that.
No.
Like,
Mission
'cause
Impossible 3.
Mission Impossible 3, Super 8, which I
Yeah,
love.
Super 8.
Super
Um,
8's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I almost put the Star Trek 09 on this list. Wasn't really big on Into Darkness. Really like Force Awakens. Didn't like Rise of Skywalker. It's like, I can't really say he's a bad director because I just
No.
don't think he's directed enough. I mean, he's directed mainly just like huge IP films.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Honestly, you can't really judge a director when he pretty much
I could be
directs
wrong.
only
I think
those.
it was a YouTuber that I love that actually said that. And if there are other people that hate J.J. Abrams, first of all, why do you hate the guy? Like,
what happened with
what's
Rise,
wrong with
what
it?
happened with Rise of Skywalker was not his fault.
No,
to be-
No.
no.
to be
Even
honest.
though it's actually my 5th favorite Star Wars movie, and I actually
Oh my
appreciate.
God.
I do. I appreciate this movie more when I watched it the second time.
Yeah, no. I'm Rise of Skywalker is good in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Star Trek, I do think is absolutely definitely is absolutely fantastic. Number 2 is The Prestige. We talked about this before, but I definitely got a little things more to say.
Yeah,
This is a movie
go for
that
it.
I loved more when I watched this film the second time. Now, I remember watching it the first time, and I remember thinking that I loved it. But when there's a new Christopher Nolan movie that came out, which was Oppenheimer, I decided, you know what, I'm never going to rewatch The Prestige. Then I watched it the second time, and my gosh, did it blew me away when I watched the
Yeah.
film
The thing with
second
Nolan's films, they're so rewatchable. Almost
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
one
Agreed.
of them.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much going on that you pick up on something new each time you watch
Yeah.
it.
I still need to rewatch Oppenheimer. I've only watched it once.
time. Yeah, I
Wait, really?
need
the
to
only
rewatch it,
amount of
too.
times I plan on watching it.
Okay.
And I can say, and all I can say, the plot twist. Wow, like when I watched the plot twist of the Prestige, when I watched the second time, it blew me away. Like that plot twist was just genius.
Yes,
that was
agreed.
so good. Like for some reason, I guess I didn't catch it the first time for some reason. Then when I watched it, I catched it. And now I want to rewatch it more and more times because you're going to keep saying the plot twist is genius. Like, it's like, wow, it's perfect. And for some reason, people are going to say it's one of Nolan's worst films.
Yeah, I don't
excuse,
get
What?
it.
excuse
What?
me?
What?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
that's
understand
so
that one.
crazy. Like, for anyone to say it's Nolan's worst films, that is
What?
nuts. That's nuts.
I've never heard anybody say that.
No, neither have
I've
I.
seen a few people say it.
Yeah.
I
But
mean-
I don't listen
even
to
what-
Bobby,
even
but-
fans.
even worse Christopher Nolan film is like at least like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but The Prestige absolutely is great. But I think I would do what number one on my list is, and that is Wall-E. Of course, Wall-E is number one. Yeah, I was so excited to rewatch it before I did my rankings, and I honestly, there are like multiple Pixar movies. Like if the Toy Story movies did not come out, like I would put like maybe Wall-E like high, up high of any Pixar movie.
yeah, Wall-E
Yeah.
are up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Wall-E,
Ratatouille.
yeah, and Ratatouille, yeah. But this movie is masterpiece. Like, I will be honest with you, I didn't watch it until I was an adult because at first I would just think to myself, but the film is sort of silent. Why don't I want to watch a
It's even
silent
better
movie?
watching it as an adult
Yeah, true.
than watching it as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I almost skipped this one because I thought to myself, "Well, I don't want to watch a movie that actually is all silence." Then I watched it.
Well, it's not all silent,
Yeah,
but
then I
most
watched
of it
it
is.
3-4 times, and I thought to myself, "Man, this film is beautiful. Like, it's so good."
That is one thing you can give to Pixar. They make movies directed at kids, but they are appreciated by all ages.
Absolutely,
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
absolutely.
Up, well, Pixar. What makes them so great is their visual storytelling. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the opening scene of Up. Like, you can't even name one other silent opening scene in a movie that can immediately make you cry like that.
Yes,
You
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, and I love the relationship between Wally and Eve. It's so good. It's just wonderful chemistry between these two. It also is, surprise, surprise, really funny. It's got some really great funny moments. The human character, he's great in the film.
Just a bunch of fatsos.
I'm a little disappointed it did not get Best Picture nomination because when people talk about what's the greatest 2000s movie, I believe Wall-E was mentioned at number one, and yet it did not get a Best Picture
a
nomination.
lot of 2008
That's
movies.
so weird.
A lot of 2008 movies that should have got Best Picture nominations
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, for
Dark
crying
Knight.
out loud, Oscars, animation is film. It's an art.
Well, the
Yeah,
year
but it's the Academy, they don't
a couple
fucking care.
years later, they did. When did Up come out? Did that come-
2009.
Yeah.
Well, that got Best Picture
Yep,
nomination.
and
so.
Toy Story 3, that got Best Picture nomination. But only 3 animated films got nominated for Best Picture. And Wall-E should have been one of them. It's weird.
It should have, yeah.
As you can tell, that's how much I love this movie. So, Wall-E is at number one on my list.
Well, yeah.
I guess you're next, huh?
I still have
Well,
5
unfortunately.
movies that haven't been mentioned.
Damn.
That's aside from the one or two that got knocked off my list. Mine.
I think I
mine's
know which movie
still
you'll
going.
mention, and I think I might be able to make a comment on it. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. So number 10, it was originally Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think that's a really fun movie. I like it. I've watched it multiple times throughout the years. It's just a really fun movie. I changed it
shit.
to The Day After Tomorrow, but
Oh shit! Oh
What?
guys, I forgot. I wanted to put. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's one movie I'm gonna say is an honorable mention here: Idiocracy.
yeah.
When you
yeah.
bring up this movie, it honestly does make sense because
Yeah.
Idiocracy is one of the funniest movies and funniest sci-fi films of this decade, easily.
It's,
Have you guys seen Idiocracy?
No.
I haven't, but I actually
It's
was going to watch
brilliant.
it last night.
It's
It's
so
free on
brilliant.
YouTube. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's Luke Wilson,
It's
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's by the guy who did. It's by Mike Hill, who did Office Space and
Oh, okay.
Beavis and Butthead.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
it's
I'm all
class.
for it.
It
That's
made
why Bill
I
it,
did not know
it's
that.
one. It made no money at the box office when it came out, and
Yeah.
instantly became like a cult hit when it hit video.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely watch it. It's becoming true. The more and more we
Okay.
live in today's society.
Okay,
So,
I'm going to have to check it out then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That sounds really interesting. I need to figure that out.
yeah. Honorable mention for Idiocracy that I so badly wanted to put on here, but it didn't end up.
We already talked about Day After Tomorrow. Since Hitchhikers isn't my number 10 anymore, I'll move to number 9. Number 9, Titan AE.
Yeah.
Really fucking good in my opinion.
This is
I
one of
loved
Don
it.
Bluth's last films.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was underappreciated back then.
Yes, it's still underappreciated. I see like nobody fucking talk about it. I see like one post maybe once a year, maybe.
I recently
That's
got the DVD. I have not watched it yet.
It's so fucking good. And
It's not bad.
I like the animation,
Bluth,
obviously, because of Bluth.
When it comes to Don Bluth, this is not one of his better films, in my opinion.
No.
No.
It's not like Land Before Time or American Tail level or Secret M. But I mean, it was a weird period because it seemed like he was trying to become more and more like Disney.
Yeah.
And with a few more adult themes, like with Anastasia, which I think is better than this film. But yeah, just personal thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's completely valid. I totally see where you're coming at with that.
Mhm.
I just this movie it is one where like I grew up with it. Like this was honestly one of the I had this on VHS. If I wore a tape out on VHS, it was this.
It's an interesting blend of CG and
It
hand
is.
drawn.
Yeah,
too.
it is.
What are those blue creatures called? Like the aliens? I forget what they're.
I'm
called.
spacing on it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched.
I like how they're designed.
Yes.
What pops up to
The
me.
designs in this, in my opinion, are super great for any animated sci-fi.
Also, a weirdly outstanding cast too.
Yeah,
Matt Damon and Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
I wore out the witch's ghost, Scooby Doo, when I was little.
Scooby-Doo,
that
Witch's
was.
Ghost.
I think I wore out Reluctant Werewolf.
I wore out.
I think that was my
I wore
go-to.
out Alien Invaders. So
They're all so fucking good.
Hex Girls.
and of course, Zombie Island.
Yes.
I do really want to do that episode for. I want to drop that on Halloween.
Like the
Let's do it.
Scooby-Doo like VHS or
Top
video.
10 animated Scooby Doo movies.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the Kiss one on there.
Yes. I've got like 25 of them
Jesus
on DVD.
Christ.
Because they had 8-packs at Walmart for a
Yeah,
while. They were like
I
$8.
don't think I'll have the time to watch watch a Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it'll take a minute.
Do the ones you've seen at least. Like all your favorites of the ones you've seen.
Yeah.
You don't have to rewatch all of them.
I'm gonna rewatch all.
I am too.
No,
What else you got?
I'm a hex girl.
Tiny A, really good, super underappreciated.
Yeah.
Those noodles.
I don't remember the noodles.
Well, they were like flying through space, and he was super pissed off because he wanted to eat. It's a full thing. It's like one of those silly moments I can't get out of my head. Number 8 is Gamer with Gerard Butler.
Oh man, I forgot about this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I feel like it's one of those ones that not a lot of people talk about it, but part of that's because not a whole lot of people like the writing in it, which I get to a certain
This
degree.
is directed by the guys Neville Dean and Taylor who did the Crank movies and
Yeah.
would
Makes
later
sense, yeah.
do
Yeah. Like
would later
it fits
do-
in that realm. Yeah,
would later do fucking Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
yeah. I totally see. I didn't know that, but I totally fucking
And they
see it
never
comparing the two.
after that they never did another movie again.
It fits in the spirit.
Damn, dude. I'm not adding that.
Spirit of Vengeance, I think Spirit of Vengeance is awful.
I agree. I agree.
It's
But you cannot fucking tell me that him powering up all that heavy equipment in that industrial zone
that was cool.
and converting it isn't fucking cool. You can't tell me.
The movie is
It's
still shit,
badass. him pissing flames, dude. Like
Man.
it's a crazy movie, and I
You would
love it for
definitely do that
that.
if you could.
No,
Yes, I
One
would.
thing one thing I'll say about the guys who directed this, Neville Dean and Taylor, not good storytellers, but they are devoted to like good stunt work and good
Yes,
like action
agreed.
pieces, even in Ghost Rider 2.
I think John
they're
should watch
great
the Crank
concepts
movies.
too.
I think John should watch the Crank movies.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They are a lot of fun.
At least the first one, John. You have to watch. At least the
I
first
like
one.
Crank too.
Yeah,
I like High Voltage.
It's great.
I am the
They're
action movie expert.
they are so cartoonish, but
Yeah.
they're great.
Yeah.
Don't
I am
tell
the
them
action
any
movie
details.
expert.
no, God no.
And it's not going to be like, oh, it's the best, greatest action
They're
movie
Jason
ever,
Statham.
but, I'll
They're-
probably enjoy it.
They're
Yeah.
cheesy Jason Statham action movies.
Yes.
They're
I think you'll
essentially
like
Jason
them.
Statham B movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Very much
they
so.
are.
They're fun. They're really fun.
No, I just Gamer, it's another one of those like futuristic. Like it's weird that we could be getting to that kind of point. Because I feel like it's
like the Running Man.
Yes,
Is it
it's
like,
a lot like the Running Man.
Is virtual reality a part of this?
Yeah,
or?
it is part of it.
Okay.
Because the entire like concept of the game, or the movie, is that there's this video game, a lot like Call of Duty, where it is VR, where people can hook up at home and they can basically select lives of these different people in the world. Where these people like either they opted for the program or they're institutionalized. So, like for example, Gerard Butler plays this man who was found guilty of murder, I believe. I think he, I think he was found guilty of murdering somebody. He was framed for it, but he got institutionalized, and because he got institutionalized, he was picked up. He was adopted by this video game, where people are able to play this Call of Duty like video game, and the players and the characters are these actual life people.
I just like that phrase, adopted by a video game.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
I like that term.
It's the best way to put it, in my opinion.
It's very relevant now.
Yeah.
But
Basically, like they're picked up by these video games, and these people at home can live out their wildest fantasies with them. So like
Like it's all like death row inmates and stuff.
yes, yeah. And
Yeah,
it's not even just death row
sounds
inmates.
a lot,
People
sounds
like
a lot like Running Man.
Yeah.
yes, it is. That's the
Which they're
best
remaking.
comparison in my opinion.
Well, I would like to see a remake of that.
Yeah.
Truly.
Agreed.
I believe it's coming next year, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Isn't Glenn Powell starring in it?
Is he?
I think
Yes.
he is. I think I heard something
Oh
like
my
that.
god,
Hold on,
dude!
hold
Yeah,
on,
look
hold
that
on.
shit up.
Hold on. Who's going to direct it?
I don't know.
Yeah, look that shit up too.
I'm hoping it's a good director.
Yeah.
Anything besides that, I'm gonna be like,
Because the Running Man, the 80s one, I don't consider a classic in any way. I mean, even with Arnold being fun in it, a remake could very much help it out.
Yeah, agreed.
Does it have a director?
Yes, it does. I'm looking. Glenn Powell's confirmed.
Yep.
Sick.
Freaking Edgar Wright.
What?
Oh, I forgot. Edgar Wright.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I need to
Oh
watch
my
I need
God.
to watch the original, and now I'm kind of excited. For
When
it.
you get Edgar Wright, you're
he's
not
he's
playing
one
around.
of the greats,
Dude, he's my favorite fucking filmmaker.
Nice.
Yeah, he's
I
one of
fucking
mine
love
too.
him. He's
It's
amazing.
in pre-production right now.
Oh, dude,
I
I'm
sw-
so happy.
I swear to God, if Edgar Wright pulls an Ant-Man on this, I'm gonna be so pissed. Like if he drops out, oh my God.
Dude, I really fucking hope that it's him.
Oh, that's right. He was
I
going
wanna
to
s-
direct Ant-Man. That's
Yeah.
right.
He was going to
I
do
forgot.
Ant-Man. He was going to do Flash. Like he was attached with all these major fucking things, and then
Dang.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully
it's-
no serious creative differences happen again.
I
That's all
hope
I'm gonna
not.
say.
Edgar Wright could absolutely fucking nail it.
yeah.
He
with
will
this.
do
Yeah.
great.
But
Yes.
we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
But
be a whole
anyway,
episode.
but
If,
yeah.
this, if this happens, I'm so hyped. I'm so
I
hyped.
cannot fucking wait.
Yeah.
No, Gamer's really good. I fully recommend it. It's got Gerard Butler, Logan Lerman, Michael C. Hall.
Oh,
I can't remember who plays Gerard Butler's wife in it, but she's also a huge name. It's a
can't go
really
wrong with
fucking
Gerard
good
Butler.
movie. Yeah, I love it. It's just
like
amazing.
Gerard
I think got a lot of more
even
people
when
need
it
to watch it.
seemed, even when
Oh,
he,
it's got Terry Crews in it too.
even
plays a
when,
minor role.
I love Terry Crews.
He's
I
one of those
love
guys
him.
where
He's one of my favorite America's Got Talent hosts. I love
he is
him.
really good.
Oh,
yeah, I'll give
is
him
it
that.
Kira
yeah.
Sedgwick, Kevin Bacon's wife, is the
I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Allison Lohman's in this too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a lot of pretty good names in it. I honestly, the fact that I don't see it mentioned a whole lot now, other than like seeing it in a meme, is kind of wild.
Yeah, Gerard Butler's is one of the most reliable stars right now because
Yes.
even
Yeah.
when he can like sleepwalk through a role because he's done a lot of those kinds of action
Yeah.
movies, he weirdly doesn't like usually.
Yeah,
like
he still brings it.
effort
he,
into
bring,
it
Yeah.
every time.
he does oddly put a lot of effort into it even when he doesn't have to.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Even if the rest of the movie sucks, he's still the standout.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're getting a Den of Thieves too, which
Yeah.
the trailer just came out for
okay.
that. So.
Den of Thieves 2 Pantera.
I haven't seen any trailer
If
for
you
it. I'm
name
gonna
it
check that out.
after a badass band, I'm gonna see it.
They're going to walk
Oh
on
yeah, he
Homeboy.
directed Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, got
Yeah.
Thunderbirds
Yeah.
of the World. Man, there's lots of movies I definitely need to check out
Yeah,
for sure.
you need to check out his entire filmography.
Last Night in
It's
Soho
really
is
fucking good.
very underappreciated.
Yes, agreed.
That's now available on Freevee to watch with ads, so I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I know you said
It's very different. Don't expect a straightforward horror film
Yeah,
with Last Night in Soho, but
Last Night in Soho is actually what got me to stop. Garrett, I don't know if you were watching or listening to our stuff from last year,
no.
but I was giving like every single new movie I was watching a 10 up until I watched Last Night in Soho for the first time last year. After I watched Last Night in Soho for the first time last year, I looked back at my scores. I was like, "Fuck that!" I was like, "These do not deserve fucking 10s." Because Last Night in Soho, it's like the perfect blend for like what Edgar Wright does so well, and just like my general takeaway on first watches of a movie for me. It delivered and it blended that kind of area for me so fucking well. It was my first like this absolutely deserves a 10 based on his technical qualifications along with my personal enjoyment.
A lot of
It
people,
fucking deserves
when they saw it, judged it strictly as a straightforward horror film.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not. It's
Yeah.
not at all. It's very much It's very much if Edgar Wright tried to tell a ghost story.
Yeah, it's a little more thriller than
But
horror.
in
yeah.
my opinion, I think it works very well as like its own unique thing.
Yes,
So-
agreed. I love
Which
it. Last night I saw
if-
was.
which Edgar Wright should always do. And
Yeah.
there's
He's
a
just
good
an amazing
reason.
filmmaker. Yeah.
What else you got?
yeah. I said let's get back to the list. So
yeah.
that's number 8. What's ever number 7?
Number 7 is Jumper, starring Hayden Christensen.
Oh my word! Wow. Okay.
It's solely
I never
on my.
saw this.
I don't know what
I
the
never saw
fuck people are
Jumper.
saying about it. I don't think I've ever looked up reviews or anything. It's just like solely my personal enjoyment of this movie and the fact that I personally think that it's very underappreciated.
It's kind of like a teleporting X-Men movie.
It is.
Hmm.
It's I feel like it delivers on a lot of things really well. I think that's written really well in my
I
from
think
my
Doug,
memory.
Doug Lyman, I think, directed this.
I
If I'm-
can't
I believe
remember.
so,
That
yeah.
sounds
I think
right.
so. Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite displays of teleportation
Yeah.
powers
This is
in
directed by
media.
Doug Lyman.
Yeah, it's I like. God, how can I quantify it? I'm not good at putting things into words well. That's honestly one of my biggest flaws.
I can't word today.
Yeah, I can't. I love this. Like my brain is like firing on full pistons right now just thinking about Jumper.
Wait, is Kristen
it's a-
Stewart in this?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember what her older version is, but like Hayden Christensen's younger version is Max Thyrite. Thyrite. I can't remember, but he was
Max-
in The Pacifier. He was in
Pacifier.
yeah, the first call. Yeah. He was in the Pacifier. He was in Bates Motel. He played the older brother.
Okay.
He's in Fire Country right now, I believe. If I can't remember the title of the show, I think that's right, but it's a Paramount show.
Yeah.
It's got Samuel Jackson in it too. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen it yet very recently, so I can't remember 100%. But I'm pretty sure like Samuel Jackson plays a hunter who hunts down porters, and it's also got Jamie Griffin in it. Who Jamie Griffin was in He was in Man on the Ledge with Sam Worthington. He played the accomplice brother.
I didn't see
Or
that.
not the accomplice brother. Sam Worthington was the accomplice. But he was in that. He was in shit. I can't remember. Regardless, Jumper's just a really good movie. I think that it's a great kind of action thriller. It goes about powers in the same kind of way that Push does.
Yeah.
Does that make
Honestly,
sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Push and Jumper seem like they can go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's another kind of one of those movies, and I didn't want to put on movies with superpowers. We kind of established that the first episode.
Well,
of
not
us
ones
doing
that
these
like
top
are
10s.
solely like strictly based on
Yeah.
IP.
I felt like Push was because if it wasn't going to be Jumper on my list, it was going to be Push. I love both movies a lot.
Yeah, since we weren't doing IP, that's why Man Thing wasn't on my list.
Yeah. I just feel they do superpowers in the same kind of way where it's a little more outlawed, a little more taboo. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my brain on track for this fucking movie. There's a lot of thoughts for Jumper. I've never been able to talk about Jumper before in my life.
I haven't heard anyone say anything about Jumper.
Yeah,
in
no,
15
exactly.
years.
I feel like there's fans few and far,
I've
in
not watched it in
between.
years.
I feel like a lot of the people that talk about Jumper today are either people that are Hayden Christensen fans or people that are Star Wars fans, and even then, it's because they like Hayden Christensen. I feel like that's what it is.
To me, it kind of has the feeling of like a young adult YA type of movie.
Yeah, a
does.
little bit.
The vibe
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
from
I
it.
could see that.
And I'm not big on those types of movies anyway. So
I'll say it has a good ending. It leaves it a bit more open-ended, which I appreciate. But the climax of it, I really appreciate. I like the callbacks. I like how the entire thing is this guy thought that he had his entire fucking life figured out, and then he's just blindsided by this girl that he had the hots for that triggered his powers. It's I'm sorry. I keep thinking of the climax scene where one of his final jumps, and it's just really, it's done really well in my opinion. I think the cinematography is really good. I think the writing is pretty fucking solid here. I think that is directed well. It's a really good movie in my
Doug
opinion.
Liman usually does a great job.
Yeah, yeah, and this was no exception. I love Jumper. It's a great fucking movie. Everybody needs to fucking see Jumper. Everybody needs to be talking about Jumper. But number 6. I'm gonna be fucking honest, Garrett. I thought this was gonna be the one to be on your fucking list. Artificial intelligence.
I'm not that big a fan of it.
Really?
I don't know. This is one of those Spielberg films where I feel like it just didn't gel well for
See,
me.
I almost felt like watching it, but
Yeah, I would have expected that to be on your list too because it's Steven Spielberg.
yeah, I know, but there were other sci-fi movies that I wanted to rewatch. And
Yeah, no, I get
just-
why it's not.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting it.
It's tonally, it's a little.
it's a
all over,
very divisive Spielberg
It's
movie.
it's very all over the place for me tonally. I feel like even though God damn it, the kid, Sixth Sense kid,
oh,
Haley Joel Osment,
Yes.
he's always good.
Yeah.
I just think, because this was very much, if you haven't heard, this was gonna be a movie where Spielberg and Kubrick were gonna kind of like make it together, but Kubrick died before the movie came out, so Spielberg kind of wanted to implement a lot of Kubrick's ideas together with his own, and that's how we got AI. But I just don't think it really flows well for me, and I feel like all the Pinocchio stuff with like the Blue Fairy, nah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's just not
a
up
fan
your
of
alley.
it. It's one of those Spielberg films where I think the sappiness kind of where the sappiness takes away from the story rather than enhance it. And that's the feeling I get from it. It's very sappy. It's a little too sappy for my taste.
Well, I think that it's I like the hero's journey because despite him not having a complete adversary or a physical adversary aside from himself. Aside from that, I like the hero's journey. I think that the sappiness plays into it really well, because that's what's driving him. What's driving him is that need for motherly love, for acceptance, for to just be appreciated for who he is. I think that's one of the reasons why I like his. I feel like Jude Law's character is a little. I feel like it's one of the ones that don't get talked about enough for him, but I like his connection to the kid. I really like that. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of. I feel like it's another thing of it's a little more relevant today, despite being about fucking robots. I feel like it's still a little relevant because it's about somebody who's trying to find their place. It's about these people who are treated as second class citizens because of just what their nature is. I really like a lot of the tropes in it. I like a lot of the imagery, where he's sitting on the bottom of the pool and he's just kind of that kind of feels like the moment where he's let go. Like
Right.
where he's like, this is just not it. Granted, that's like right before they throw him out, but it's just kind of the you can't not feel sad for the kid.
No,
You can't
absolutely.
you can't not empathize with him. Like it's kind of one of those, like, everybody wants to feel accepted, everybody, and like not only does everybody relate to that message, but the fact that that it relates to everything now is really cool. I like it. I thought it was done really well. I like the Pinocchio connections, but I get why you don't like it. That's just
For
not
me, actually
your alley.
showing the blue, actually showing like a legit blue fairy in it.
Well, it was the mental image.
True.
Yeah. So it was just like what the little boy android
right,
thought that she'd
right.
always be like. Yeah. It
No, I
was
get
kind
it.
of like a last memory. Yeah. I was surprised that AI was on your list.
Yeah,
That was legit one of the
it's
only
one
ones
of-
I expected.
I don't think it's a bad movie at all.
Mm.
I think it's a perfectly fine movie. I just don't think it's one of Spielberg's best.
Okay, no, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5 is Meet the Robinsons. Oh, 4 of the movies on my list are animated. I should say that right now.
I think the movie is perfectly fine until the ending, which I think it makes it better. I really like how it ends.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Meet the
Yeah.
Robinsons almost made my list, and I almost felt like rewatching it.
yeah.
But
Well,
that shows you how there actually are some really good sci-fi movies that came out in that decade.
Yeah. This is also one of the ones that people don't really talk about in relation
Absolutely.
to Disney.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's
very
super undervalued.
very
in my opinion.
underappreciated. It's great. I love it.
Our lists are crazy. I've still got 5 that haven't been mentioned.
It's crazy. What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Well, I honestly I did expect that for this episode. I didn't expect us to cross over a whole lot.
Yeah. What I love.
Next week, I figured if Garrett would have been here, we would have had like 7 of the same probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What I love most about this movie is the family is great. About keep going and keep doing it.
Keep moving forward.
And keep moving forward.
Mhm.
It's a great message. I
Yeah.
think for me, I still think the animation looks great. I love the villain. The villain is great. The dinosaur is hilarious when he was like, and you're seeing subtitles at the bottom. It's really great. And there's some really good sci-fi elements. and it's also about family elements, and I love that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You really like the family. In
Absolutely.
Yeah, again, it ties into that kind of element of like everybody wants to be accepted, everybody wants to find their place, like everybody wants that kind of love, and it's super nice. Honestly, I like the but since I just all said that about AI, I'll focus on something else about it. I like the I like how they did the future of it.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it's normally when you see like future, you see these like tall gleaming cities, but there are still all these it's not weird enough in my opinion. Like we got that fucking advanced, but we stopped making weird shit. You know?
Mhm.
Like no, like I could get that for reality. I get again why they made the fucking movies for it, but there aren't enough fucking movies that do that weird shit. And this gave me that. Like you can't injure yourself from falling out of a fucking window. Like you can't do that. How the greater that could be like there's a greater application for stuff like AstroTurf, you know? Like today, like in actual life,
Yeah.
there's a greater application for it if it can be developed. And this did it. It developed it. Like you replace the greenery in a safe way, and then you don't get fucking injured. You don't have to worry about falling out of a fucking window because something's gonna happen. The floor will open up beneath you. Like there are so many solutions that aren't depicted in the future that are depicted here. Like it's just it's kind of that fantastical element, and I like when sci-fi adopts it. I like when sci-fi gets weird. I like when we have these kooky things.
Because a lot of
And-
science, like futuristic cities and lands, just a lot of them look the same.
Yes,
There's
it's
very
a
little
little boring. It's
variation.
like glossy white, if not mirror
If it's
finish.
if it's not Blade Runner, it's like Tomorrowland or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It's one of the two. You don't ever have anything that's like fun. It's either grounded or it's gritty. I don't know. It's
Neon
kind of fucking
City,
weird.
Blade
Yeah.
Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not like a depressing, dark foggy and rainy, disgusting neon
Yeah.
city. It's like this bright, beautiful, like
Utopian.
colorful
Yeah.
utopia, like Tomorrowland or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I actually don't mind Tomorrowland.
It definitely is not on my list.
No, it's not
No.
mine either.
Actually,
I don't mind it. It's just not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell a story, but I'm still actually really fucking pissed off about the Tomorrowland movie for completely different reasons that don't matter in the movie.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be
I was
discussed
very-
at a later date.
I was very excited to see Tomorrowland because I love Brad Bird.
Mm.
I ended up being very disappointed. So
I feel like there was a lot of good things behind it. I feel like there was a lot of good cast in it.
oh god, yeah.
But that's a different thing to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got?
Me and the Robinsons, really good. Number 4, iRobot.
Alex Proyas. I think I briefly talked about this when I brought up Dark City, because I love Dark City was on my '90s list, and I love The Crow. Yeah, this was the beginning of where Alex Proyas, I think, was declining a little bit as a
Okay.
director. I don't think this is a bad movie. I think
No.
it's entertaining enough, and I think Will Smith is really good.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think the story is just not that engaging for me, and like I
It
feel
should
like
be engaging. This is the fucking place where we're going right now. Like with the advancement of AI, like
True.
they're wanting to put those fucking robots in our homes in the next 5 years. Like
I did not
If an
murder
active-
him.
there's an active like fucking prototype for it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I love robots, but
I
Well,
feel like
it's a thing.
and I feel like the CG in this movie is very distracting for me personally.
Really, I think that holds up really
I just-
well.
The
I'm with you there.
designs
I've been wanting to
and
watch it. I still think the visual looks
it-
great.
Even
Yeah.
for like 2004, I feel like the CG is just it's it's just not my thing.
Do you think that it's like Uncanny Valley or?
A little bit.
Okay.
Like it doesn't. It could have been done differently in a way that's not as distracting as it is in the film for me.
Okay, yeah.
I just, now, Alex Proyas is. I don't think in terms of CG, because Alex Proyas later directed Gods of Egypt,
Yeah.
which has some of the worst CG in history. I mean, good God, but it's not as bad as that. But it's up there for me.
Okay. No, I
Have any of you guys seen Gods of Egypt? By the
No.
way,
I've seen it. I've seen it.
No,
I've only
I-
seen it
Oh,
once,
God.
but I've seen
and
it.
I'm not planning on it, honestly.
The only reason why I feel the need to rewatch is because of Chadwick Boseman. That's the only reason.
Wait, he was in that
Yeah,
movie?
he's in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I
God
think he plays
almighty.
It was
Raw?
not a good use of his
no,
talent.
It's not Raw.
Oh,
I
boy.
forget who he plays, but yeah, he's in it.
The movie's awful.
Man.
No,
Okay.
I like iRobot. I really do. I like because it kind of has that kind of like Messiah trope in it,
Mhm.
and it kind of leaves it open ended as to how it is. I don't know if a definite answer has come out about it, but to me, it's kind of made out to be Will Smith's character is the Messiah. Because he's the blend of both
Yeah.
worlds. He's the one who's going to create that unification.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's something that admittedly, I'm not a religious person. So like normally, I feel like I'm one of the people where you wouldn't expect they would like a Messiah message in media.
There are lots of Messiah stories that I love. I mean,
Yes,
look at
same.
Look at Dune. for
Yeah.
example.
That is one of the biggest tropes in sci-fi. I feel.
Yes,
A
agreed.
lot of that came from that story.
I love it. Honestly, it being here, I kind of wish that like that. I will say if I were to throw out a con about iRobot, it would be that I wish that the Messiah theme played into it a little bit more than it did,
Mhm.
because I feel like that was it. It really, really, really took the back seat to the overall mystery of the movie, which is
Yeah.
fine. Like I don't want it to be all about that. I don't want it to be split 50-50 either. Like I just feel like that was a more important thing that should have been talked about.
I feel like it has a lot of interesting ideas, but it
Yes.
doesn't really explore them in favor of like a straightforward sci-fi action film.
Yeah, like
in
they
a lot
wanted
of
to keep it linear, but they introduced
Mhm.
these different things. Yeah, it's those different things that I always like really picking up in a movie, and it's honestly a bummer that to my knowledge they're never planning on continuing this kind of thing.
That's
'Cause
weird.
I would
though.
like to see a follow up to iRobot.
I feel like there is something more interesting you can do with this world.
Yeah.
Because this is based on a book. Are there more books?
I don't know. I've
I
never
don't
looked
know.
at the book series.
It's Isaac
I
Asimov.
commonly don't.
And another movie I wanted to put on this list, I Am Legend,
Yes.
which I love.
Yeah.
And they're
it
gonna
was
plan,
one
and
of
they're
those two for me.
gonna do a sequel to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting a sequel.
Yeah. And it's a sequel. It follows up to the like deleted ending,
Which
right?
is the better
The
ending,
alternate?
the way
Yeah.
better ending.
And I believe Michael
I
B.
like
Jordan's
I
in
Am
it.
Legend, but
Yeah, I heard that.
I didn't
The
know how I
theatrical
felt.
ending is not good.
I
It
I
kind
didn't
of
know how I
ruins
feel about the
Okay.
original ending. I never need to watch the.
I need to watch the director's
The
one.
alternate ending that you can see on like the DVD is like it is closer to what the original story was going for, and it's
Yeah.
way more powerful and way more like compelling.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of just like
yeah.
like
Just
sacrifice.
a
and-
standard sacrifice. you
Yeah.
know.
And don't forget the classic movie, Last Man on Earth, which is essentially the same movie.
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah,
I-
that's true. That's true.
The Omega. There's many versions of
Yeah.
that many movie adaptations of that story.
Yeah.
So,
let me take a guess. What's going to be 3 and 2? Am I going to take a guess that Treasure Planet is 3 and Wall-E is 2?
No,
Oh,
you're wrong.
really?
You're close on one of them.
Yeah, Treasure Planet's 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
My number 3 is Atlantis.
Okay.
Oh,
I just,
really?
I love
Okay.
Atlantis.
Okay.
I obviously prefer Treasure Planet over Atlantis. That's just my personal thing. But Atlantis, it's another case of like I love the animation in this.
yeah,
I love
the animation's great.
Yeah, I understand the comment about how like the villain's predictable. Like he absolutely fucking was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's basically the bad guy in Avatar or any of these.
Yeah,
other
yeah. It's just like
movies.
colonialism. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
It's not interesting anymore.
Yeah, no. At this point, I feel like it's been done almost every way that it could be.
Yeah,
And so I feel like it's a lot harder to
unless you do like
do something with that.
some real additions to that kind of thing, stop doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely played out. It has a really good cast in my opinion.
It
Oh,
does.
Michael J. Fox is great as the
He
main
is.
character.
Yeah, it's got Leonard Nimoy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays the chieftain.
hmm
I'm spacing on who plays
Milo.
No, because that's Michael J.
That's
Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. God, her name is
Who's the character?
it's Kita. Kita.
I'm looking that up right now.
I totally forget who plays Kita, but she did a really great job in my opinion too.
She did.
This is a name I don't know. Cree Summer? I don't know.
That
who
sounds
is.
familiar. I'm gonna have to look up her filmography
I'm not
later.
familiar with that.
But she did really well there too. Honestly, I feel like the characters were fleshed out really well. I like the. It doesn't have one of my favorite soundtracks. I again prefer Treasure Planet over Atlantis, but I still think that the accompanying soundtrack is really good.
yeah.
I think that a lot of the designs were awesome.
The designs are great in this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I will say, in my opinion, the villain actually isn't that guy. The villain is one of those like mistaken kind of things. He is the villain, but the actual danger isn't him. The actual danger is the power of Atlantis itself. That's what it is.
Interesting.
That's what the story is. It's because of that power that they had shut themselves off.
Yeah.
It was because of that power that Kita lost her mother. It removes the autonomy from these people at a moment's notice. It's that, but it's also like it can lead to that kind of greed that dude fucking suffered from, that entire company was suffering from. In my opinion, that is the greater danger of the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I want to make a quick comment real quick on
go ahead.
Atlantis. Michael J. Fox, he actually was offered 2 animated films to choose, either Titan E or Atlantis. He actually asked his son what he want his dad to do, and he said it would be cool for him to do a Disney movie, so he chose Atlantis. So his son
Good,
actually
yeah.
chose his dad Michael J. Fox do the Atlantis movie, which I think that was a wise choice.
He fit perfectly
agreed.
in that
yeah,
character.
Yeah, 1,000%. Honestly, it'd be weird to think about him as the main character in Tiny AE, because that's absolutely
And
what it
that would be
was.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
To go into I forgot that the main Jim in Treasure Planet, that was Joseph
Yeah.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
He's great.
It's totally, watching it back, you can tell that it's him, but he's so he's so young in it.
That's
it's
crazy.
really hard otherwise.
Because I think the earliest movie I saw of him was Brick, the Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that this was the earliest that I've seen.
Mhm.
But no, I actually haven't. For loving Ryan Johnson, I haven't watched Brick.
Brick is awesome. I watched it in college.
Yeah, I've heard good things
I've not
about it.
seen
I
it
just
either.
haven't checked it out.
It's great. It's great.
I've been wanting to check
It's
that
great.
out too.
It's a great whodunit that's set in like a high school setting.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it then. I need to add that to my watch list. Send me a text about that. That way I don't forget.
You can watch it somewhere. I can't remember where, but
All right, well, I guess moving on to my number 2.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet.
Yeah. Which we already talked
there's
about.
a lot
yeah.
of love for Treasure Planet. here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
as
I
it
just
should.
It's so fucking good. I really do love it. It's amazing. It's visually stunning still. It's visually stunning. I think that's written super well. The characterizations are amazing. We've talked about like everything that makes it super good. The soundtrack is killer. I still think that Jim's theme is one of the best fucking orchestrated pieces that or not orchestrated pieces. It is just in general one of the best like character songs that I've ever heard in my life.
And also the sky surfing.
Yes,
just fucking-
it's so
it's
fucking
just
cool.
It is
cool.
great.
You can't tell me that you wouldn't want to fucking do that.
If they do a live action version of this movie, that would look amazing. If they do it right, it can look.
Yeah.
If they do
Yeah.
it wrong, it'll look terrible. But
Yes.
if they do it right,
Absolutely.
it'll look awesome.
Well, I mean, I just love the
If you got
aesthetic.
here's someone who, speaking of direct, if we were talking about directors who could do Treasure Planet, the guy who did Top Gun Maverick. Imagine what he did with
Yes.
Top Gun, Joseph Kosinski.
Yeah.
If he did what he did with Top Gun Maverick on something like that, oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely kick ass, dude.
Yeah, Joseph Kosinski for a Treasure Planet remake.
Yeah, that's our official campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't have to be Spielberg. There's a few people who I think.
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah. I think that a lot of people would fit the bill really well.
Mhm.
No, I'll say the thing about solar surfing that I really appreciate, just in general as a thing across sci-fi, is the aesthetic of like solar sails.
Mm.
Like I know that this doesn't have a whole lot to do with actual movies, despite like commonly being seen in movies.
Right.
But like I love solar shielding when they have that hexagonal print. It's just one of those like sci-fi designs that you never really think about, you know?
Mhm.
Like you can you think sci-fi design and people go for like hover cars. They go for that. They go for just a lot of mobility. They go for tech, like basically the equivalent of like the iPhone 50, shit like that. Like they go for
Yeah.
like completely hands-free, screen-free calling technology.
Body mods.
Yeah, they go for that kind of shit. You don't see anybody really talk about solar sails. You don't see them talk about that because that's such a major thing, and it's one of those things that I'm pretty sure we have. We still don't talk about it. It's just so aesthetically pleasing to me. I love the look of it. So like the digital solar sail in this was it's just beautiful, beautifully animated. I'm hard pressed to find things to not like in this movie. Honestly, I don't really think I can. Also, Martin Short as Ben, fucking amazing.
Yes, absolutely. That is
What-
great.
There's
one of my
there's
favorite
so
characters
many
he's ever
big
played.
names. Emma Thompson as
Yeah.
Captain Amelia. Who voices John Silver? Brian Murray.
I can't.
I'm not familiar with him.
He's played some pretty big roles. I can't remember what, but I remember looking him up recently. Same for the guy who plays Doppler. The guy who plays Doppler is super well known too.
Okay.
Now, I can't remember the actor's name either, but yeah, I love it. Honestly, the characters in this are my favorite kind of motley crew for any adventure film.
Yeah.
I just love the tropes. Number one, obviously, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And in parentheses, I should note that on my list: Attack of the Clones. I can't not mention both of them. I fucking love it. I am
know.
a Attack of the Clones truther.
Star whore.
To my yes, 1000%.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Star whore. I brought that up in therapy to my therapist the other day. She gave me the weirdest fucking look. I was like, well, moving on. Revenge of the Sith is just amazing. In my opinion, it is the best of the prequels. I feel like it's the best done of the prequels. One of the best, maybe not one of the best visually, because honestly, I feel like I like the visuals in Phantom Menace more.
Really?
Aside from the final fight. Because for me, the final fight and the duel of Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith clears every other fight in the franchise.
And the opening battle and
yes,
yeah.
That's
Above
widely
Coruscant.
praised. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this clears like everything. I like the planet design more in Phantom Menace. I feel like in Revenge of the Sith, all that we really see is Utapau. We see Coruscant,
You like
and
how
we
Naboo
see
looks.
Mustafar. Huh?
You like Naboo in the first one.
Well, yeah, we still see Naboo here,
Right.
but
But they explore it more. And
yes, it's a
And-
lot more colorful. It's a lot more visually pleasing.
visually, what ruins Phantom Menace for me, for the most part, is Jar Jar.
Yeah, well, it's one of those, like, he was pioneering in CG. That's the reason why I don't consider that as a con.
I just wish it wasn't that character. I just wish it wasn't Jar Jar.
fucking love Jar Jar. I'm a
I
Jar
kinda
Jar
like
Jar
Jar Jar.
apologist.
For some reason, I don't hate him as much.
He's goofy. I
Yeah.
feel like that was one of the
He's
reasons why people
annoying
did
to
not
me, at
fucking like
least.
him when the movie came out. A lot of people hated Jar Jar because of the comedy.
It's
that
not
he
the
brought.
goddamn actor's fault. It's the goddamn people who behind him.
Yeah,
Well,
but people
here-
are fucking stupid. They're gonna blame the immediate fucking
Here-
person.
here's what's funny. It was either college kids react
Love
or
him at
adults
best.
or adults react. It was on the Fine Bros channel. Jar Jar Binks was on that video, and only one person out of 10 or 11 people that was playing this game or trying to get mad challenge, she was the only person that got mad at Jar Jar. The rest was fine with it, and I found that so hilarious
Because they probably
that
grew
only
up
one
with it.
person
Yeah.
hated it, and the other 10 or 11 were like, I kind of like Jar Jar. He's cute, and I was like, yeah, he kind of is.
But like I can get people
To
saying
each
that
their
he's
own, I
annoying and
guess.
shit. Like I just, in my opinion, Star Wars has always had comedy. It's just I feel like
Not
that
to
was
the
a little
level
too
of
much.
Jar Jar,
No, I
though.
know, but it's a little too much in Phantom Menace. Thankfully, they dialed it back to the next two movies, but he wasn't. I consider that more just character progression, not so much like
You know what? Jar Jar
They
deserved.
The best thing about
Jar Jar,
criticism.
Jar Jar
The
Binks
best thing-
deserve a Saturday morning cartoon.
the best
I
thing
want to
about
see that.
I would have watched it.
the best thing about Revenge of the Sith is that they give Jar Jar no lines.
They do. They
I mean-
do.
Well, very little lines.
Yeah, no, his importance is definitely diminished in it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I will say a con for Revenge of the Sith for me is how they wrote Padme in it. A lot of people complained about
Anakin,
Padme, and that's the
you're
reason why
breaking
she
my
got to
heart.
where she was. Well,
As-
it's
as
not
good
like-
as good as Natalie Portman as an actress, those movies did not do her any favors.
They didn't. They didn't. She was best in the first one. The second one, she was overly sexualized,
Yeah.
and in this one, she was just reduced to a housewife.
Yeah,
That's all she
all
fucking
she
was.
has.
she's like Iris from the Flash TV show.
Yeah, she was completely downgraded like every single fucking time, and I was not a fan of it.
Yeah.
I really wish that we would get the Lucas cut of it, because
It was like 4 hours.
I don't care about the 4-hour runtime, but I just want her story to be incorporated more, because Genevieve O'Reilly was in it, and she was in one of those. She plays Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
She was in Revenge of the Sith. She was in the prequels, but she was also in those scenes. Like she was like the beginning of the rebellion was in those fucking scenes, and they just completely scrapped them. It gave Padme more shit to do too. Like they cut out a lot of her shit. It's one of my only fucking cons for the fucking movie that I want to vocalize.
We'll either get it, if we do get it, we'll either be next year for the 20th, or
I would
for
hope.
the 25th on 2030.
I'll say
I'd be
this
happy
last
with
thing. George Lucas is a brilliant man, and what he's done for storytelling cannot be undersold. I just don't think he works well with actors, is I think my big thing. Even the best actors in the world in some of these movies, I feel like, even Ewan McGregor has a few really awkward line deliveries in this one. Like, I've seen the footage killing.
Younglings.
Even
Yeah,
he was
that's the
even
only
he was
one for
laughing
me.
at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also don't think that's a good line at all.
So the
but-
Darth Vader no bothered me, but the younglings part bothered you. So we got a little
No,
bit
it
of
bothers
different
me,
takes
too.
There.
Yeah, he covered up the best they could.
He's
I
trying not
think
to laugh.
it's one of
which is
those
funny.
like,
It's
oh,
just-
that's
it's
where
a
Viggo
weird
Mortensen
line-
stubbed
it's
his
a weird
toe,
line,
kind of thing.
too.
Like that's the Star Wars equivalent.
Bless his heart.
Yeah,
Bless Ewan McGregor.
even in A New Hope, look like there's still a lot of like weird line deliveries in that. And George Lucas is great at many things. I think working with actors is not his strong suit, and I think the prequels prove that for a lot of us.
In my opinion, it's his characterizations that fall flat, especially his characterizations of female
That
characters.
too, but like a lot of the acting performances in most of the prequels are just not there.
I disagree.
Um,
Because Hayden Christensen fucking kills it for what the role is.
Yeah.
It requires somebody who has been, who was fully in touch with his emotions and then told to completely fucking cut him off.
Yeah.
Couldn't show him, was constantly told to push him down. He went to the fucking council for shit and they were like, yeah, I know that you're saying that you're feeling these things, but you fucking can't. Like, it's totally expected of a character like that. I think that Hayden Christensen kills it in his performance. It ties back into my defense of Attack of the Clones, which I've mentioned it before, but the people commonly criticize the I hate Sand line. How the fuck else is he supposed to fucking flirt? How? He's been told for the past 10 fucking years, you can't get no bitches.
Well,
Like he's been fucking told, hey, don't fucking flirt with people. Hey, don't catch feelings. Hey, don't fucking do this. Hey, don't think that. Like, how the fuck is he supposed to fucking say this shit? He's trying to flirt. That's the reason why it's so fucking bad.
There's a way to write that in a
That's what he's doing as a fucking 12-year-old boy. That's where he's at that
I'm
point.
saying this as as an aspiring screenwriter. There's a way to do that in other ways.
You're wrong here.
I'm just telling you.
You're wrong here. Because that
No,
was
I'm
perfectly
not.
fucking.
I'm
Yes,
not
you
wrong
are. You are.
It's your opinion still.
Yeah,
so.
no, I know.
Okay.
But you're fucking wrong
we
here.
gotta get this quick, and it's been over 2 hours, and we haven't even got to Matthew yet.
Yeah,
we just
Revenge of the
skip
Sith. No, like go ahead. Like I'll
Why?
fucking wrap it up there.
I thought-
But I
don't you
fully
have,
defend
like,
the fucking dialogue. It fully fits everything in the fucking stories that was set up, and the way that the characters portray themselves and deliver their lines makes sense. In my opinion, the person to gripe about is Ewan McGregor, and we've already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ewan McGregor is the one who didn't sell a few lines across the trilogy that he was in.
And he gets out of the prequels the best. out of
Yes,
most
he
of them.
did.
And yeah, Ian McDiarmid though is the clear standout in the
Oh,
prequels.
1,000 fucking
Absolutely.
percent. Yeah.
Yeah. We apologize. It's been over 2 hours long.
Yeah. Go ahead, Matthew.
We
I'm
had to
sorry.
bring up Star Wars.
Yeah. No. Of course I was going to go off about it.
Yeah, there's still 5 movies on my list that we're never talking
God
about.
damn.
This one, it's a sci-fi movie. It's definitely not the best movie, but it's really enjoyable. It gives a pulpy, almost steampunk aesthetic in a way.
hmm
Retro futuristic. Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very interesting one.
It's a good pick, in my opinion.
It's very pulpy. A lot of this very interesting use of CG. Very kind of
Yeah. It's
didn't
very
it come out,
unique
didn't,
visuals.
Didn't it come out at the same time at like Sin City?
2004.
Yeah, close
Sin
to.
City was 6. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like very similar, like style wise, like a lot
Very
of
pulpy, serial.
green screen work, and
Yeah.
it's supposed to look. It's not supposed to look realistic in any way.
Right.
I think it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for me, not a classic.
Yeah,
but
it's not a great movie. It's very visually pleasing though.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I do enjoy the pulpy aspect of it. I have Children of Men at number 9. I need to rewatch
Okay.
it. I've only
I'm
seen
surprised it's that low.
it. Yeah, I've only seen it twice, so I need to rewatch it. Great movie though. Number 8 is Sunshine.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you'd seen this, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I have the DVD of it. I recently found it because I had not seen a copy anywhere of it physically.
I found it at Best Buy on
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
I found it at Goodwill one day. So it's like, yeah, I'm buying this.
Yeah,
$3.
Yeah,
Nice.
I really enjoy Sunshine.
Yeah. I'd never seen a copy out in the wild, so it's like, this is going to be mine. Number 7, a sci-fi horror movie, which started a series. Probably Vin Diesel's second best
Oh
series.
God!
Oh,
Pitch
yeah,
Black.
yeah.
Yes, Pitch Black.
Man,
Pitch
I
Black.
wanted to.
I was
okay.
gonna-
I
yeah.
wanted to put this on here, but
Yeah, I was gonna
there's
throw
just
mine
not-
too.
There's just not enough room.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riddick is just one of the great sci-fi characters at that time.
Yeah.
I feel like his acting is better in this than the Fast and Furious movie.
Okay.
Yeah, 100 fucking percent.
Riddick is a very interesting character.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of like the other like Chronicles of Riddick and just Riddick?
I've only seen Riddick once. Chronicles is definitely weaker.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Yeah, Pitch Black is just very simple, but it's really entertaining.
Yeah.
Like they do a lot with the. I think the budget was fairly small.
It was, yeah.
But they do a lot with it.
And they used this was one of the trivia questions before. They used unused ideas from Alien 3. And as part of the plot point.
Interesting.
Huh.
No wonder I like it more.
Yeah. Number 6 is a disaster sci-fi thriller.
Mm.
It's I didn't expect it to be on anybody's list, but it scared the crap out of me when I first watched it. It's an end of the world movie. Knowing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
I
I have
actually love
very
Knowing.
mixed
actually love
feelings
Knowing.
on this
It's
movie.
good in my opinion. I like it.
I think Nick Cage gives a very good performance.
It's one of
Yes.
his best.
Yeah, 1000%.
It does. I like the the discovering everything. Like I find that very fascinating
Yes.
about how they explore that, like the mathematics and
Numerology.
Yeah, you and I
It-
watched it.
it definitely.
Yeah.
Alex Price directed that too.
Yes. There's been a lot of Alex Price movies mentioned.
Mhm. And yeah, it's not a bad movie. There's just a lot of it that for me just doesn't really like. I feel like is very unnecessary. Like those bald guys. I forget what they're called.
Yeah.
For me, I just don't. I think that went a little too far. They went a little too far with that.
They were trying to give like an end times thing into a sci-fi twist. They were essentially angels, but
for me, it was very silly.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's not a bad movie. I think there's just some of it that can be done differently and better.
The numbers they
also-
creep me out. I was like, whoa, what?
yeah, it creeped me out
Ben-
because I seen it for the first time like
Honestly,
6 months before it happened.
This is a better like what 2012 was trying to do. I think Knowing did it better.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It did.
because there was all that. I remember all that fear going on with the Mayan calendar.
Yeah,
I feel
2012
like-
didn't scare me. Knowing did
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I watched Knowing like 6 months before that
And
happened.
2012 just did it purely was just the dumb schlocky disaster movie.
Yeah.
No, Ben Mendelsohn was in this.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just it was like wow.
And Rose Byrne.
And Rose Byrne. Man, Ben Mendelsohn's come a long way,
Yeah.
hasn't he?
The disaster sequences were amazing in this
And
film.
I really I really like the ending. Not the like when the kids are taken, not that part. I appreciate
the
the
end
fact
of the world part.
that the end of the world does happen and they just accept it.
Yeah.
I really like that, and
and
I like
the sequence is great.
I like the montage too. With I can't remember what song they use, but when he's driving back to see his family and
Yeah.
before it happens, really powerful.
I feel like that's how it would happen. Like
Yeah,
people are just going to resort
absolutely.
to every kind of desire they have, violence, whatever,
hmm
and they're just going to go absolutely crazy if it
Yeah.
does happen.
hmm I might have to rewatch it. I don't remember liking it that much when I first saw it.
Yeah.
But
It's
Yeah.
a really well made
I
movie.
surprisingly
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
Number 5, where am I? Cloverfield.
There you go.
One of my favorite found. It probably is my favorite found footage movie.
either that or Chronicle.
Yeah, Chronicles really great too.
Chronicles, So good.
But yeah, I love.
What a fall from grace that director though.
Yeah.
Right after that, Josh Trank. But that's
Cloverfield and then 10 Cloverfield Lane are both fantastic movies.
Yeah,
Different
And
movies, but
yeah,
very different.
very different ways. And yeah, both Matt Reeves and
J.J. Abrams.
who directed
10.
Dan Trachtenberg. Who
Yeah.
directed
Oh yeah. Who
10
did
Cloverfield.
Prey?
Yeah, he's going up there too.
Yeah. This one I'm surprised not on your list because it's kind of like an indie sci-fi. Moon with Sam Rockwell.
It was very close, but I want to rewatch it.
Okay.
I wasn't really in the right
That's
mindset.
the movie I wanted to comment on. Yeah.
I wasn't real when I first watched it. I wasn't really in the right mindset. Maybe it was just because it was like I watched it like when it was like late at night and I was kind of tired.
It is a slow movie.
I do want to watch it again.
It's a
'cause
really good movie.
It has pretty much everything I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to rewatch
Yeah,
that.
that's the movie I actually did wanted to comment on.
Sam Rockwell's
yeah,
amazing in
yes.
it.
Yeah, I just watched it recently. The cinematography is great. Sam Rockwell is fantastic. I mean,
This is one of Sam Rockwell's best performances.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The visual effects, it is amazing. No stuff. But for some reason, it was a missed mark for me. I'll tell you why. The story, I had so much trouble keeping up with the story. Like, I had so many questions. Like, why was there clones of Sam
I feel like-
why was there clones of Sam
I feel like that's part
Rockwell?
of the point of the
How
movie,
this
though.
daughter got from like 4 years old to 15 years old when it's only a 3-year project? I was so confused.
Apparently, there's a follow-up film called Mute.
What?
Yeah.
Did Duncan Jones direct that?
Yeah.
Did that have Skarsgård in it? Alexander Skarsgård?
Yes.
Oh, I watched that. That movie, I hated it. I watched
Okay.
it when it came out. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was not nearly on the level as
Yeah.
Moon.
Yeah, believe me, Matthew, I tried to love this movie. I really tried, but I
And-
only gave it 3 stars out
and
of 5.
one
Like,
one
I really
thing-
tried.
I know we're not supposed to compliment this man. Kevin Spacey's voice as the robot
Yes.
is very good.
Oh, interesting.
And it also has Kayla Soledaro.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
She was in the movie Crawl.
Yeah. I like her.
And Wong is in it.
Benedict
Wait, really?
Wong?
Yeah.
yeah.
He's in both Sunshine and Moon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in Sunshine. too.
And this was a low-budget movie. It was only made for $5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What did you think? Because Duncan Jones directed this. What did you think of Warcraft?
I did not watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch Warcraft?
I enjoyed it.
Duncan Jones, I feel like had like the in the similar way to like Shyamalan, like came out the gate with a really good movie, Moon, and was on like could have been one of the great directors, and then he kind of like fell off
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. But what did you think of the thought when I said that I found the story to be a little confusing and I tried to keep
I
up?
mean, I can't fault you, but like I feel like the mystery element,
Is what I'm.
is
Makes
what makes
I
it.
must have
Yeah.
missed something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
This is the last movie on my list that hasn't been mentioned, I believe. But I'm really surprised John didn't have this on his list.
Uh-oh.
It's a remake of a 50s movie.
Oh.
What is it?
Going through the Messiah tropes. The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
not like this one.
Whoa!
Did
wow!
not like this
I
one
am
at all.
very surprised because a lot of people did not like that movie.
That-
I
at all.
enjoyed
I really did not like this movie.
I enjoy it too.
Um,
Matthew.
I'm not
And
surprised
that
they
really
put it on
sucks
the list.
because
I'm
this
not
is directed
surprised
by
they put it on
Scott
there.
Derrickson,
Yeah,
who
it is.
directed Sinister and all that.
And Doctor
like,
Strange, yeah.
And Scott Derrickson himself, from what I know, is like I had a really bad experience making this movie.
I
'Cause
really enjoy it.
I did not. Keanu is not bad as Klaatu.
No.
It's just I don't know. Just I could not get into this, and pales in comparison to the '50s one, which is a classic.
I've not seen the 50s one, so
Um,
maybe that's what
it's
it's
all-
part of it.
It's
It's
great.
really good.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Watch it. It's one of the all-time great classic science fiction
Yeah.
films. Yeah, just the stuff with like the rope, Gore is
Yeah.
what they call the robot.
Yeah.
Completely, almost didn't even need to be in this movie. It was barely even a presence. When in the original, he's like almost like the antagonist, even though like he's a soulless like machine who's gonna destroy humanity. I feel like the essence of the original was not in this remake.
Okay.
And what made it so iconic and classic, I don't know, this movie just lacked so much. And I feel like that was like there from like conception. I just feel like they just had to feel like they had to remake it because this was in the time that like all these remakes were coming out.
It could be
Like-
worse. It could be Tom Cruise War of the Worlds.
I like World
You know
of
what?
Worlds.
I
like that.
I like-
like that much more than this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, like
I like the effects when they're
I
in the
like-
basement.
I
That's
Yeah,
I
about it
get
for
me
me.
too.
the ending. The ending is kind of dumb in the War of the Worlds, but I like this the suspense of the Spielberg War of the Worlds. I think was what really made it.
I need to rewatch it.
You like that better than the War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
Like I know
I mean,
War
the film
of the
didn't
Worlds
make
has a lot of like
money,
It did,
so
it did.
War of the Worlds has a lot of like divisive thoughts on it, but
Yeah.
like it's not a. I don't think it's a bad movie at all.
I
Yeah,
have
it's
to
not
rewatch
horrible.
Um,
Like, it's
I
not
watched
bad.
it. I watched it again like last year. I liked it.
I'd
still.
not seen it. I haven't seen War of the Worlds in like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, I'm
same.
just
yeah. Just to let you
really-
know, the day the Earth stood still, that was not even close to being.
I haven't heard.
it wasn't even
the-
close.
What really caught. I haven't heard anyone mention this goddamn movie in like since it came
The
out.
day the Earth
Like-
stood still.
Yeah, like I feel like people like completely forgot this movie. Like, and that's how
No
lit.
surprise.
I've seen it
That's
get
how
mentioned.
little. It feels like
seen
it's
it
had
mentioned.
so little like staying power. Because I watched it when it first hit video when I was a kid. I didn't even like it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've got
It
the
just-
DVD of it.
Had no impact on me whatsoever compared to the original.
Well, this will redeem me for you. Next one is Minority Report, my
Okay.
number 2.
Good.
Yeah. One of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time, top 100 movie of all time. I don't know where I had it ranked, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's in my top 100. I prefer hard sci-fi. Like, this is a masterclass, and
And it's still very fun. It has a lot of
yeah,
th-
even though
even it has a lot of Spielberg elements that
Yeah.
people love, but it mixes in very well. Like the Man on the Run thing has a lot of Indiana Jones type of
Yeah.
fun adventure to it.
even though it's more based in science, it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's still very much a movie that like for casual people. So yeah,
And I'll say number 1, and then we'll go straight to the next conversation that we're gonna have real quick.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith. We'll just
Yeah.
move on from there.
Knew it.
But yeah, a lot of people. We're gonna have a little conversation about this. A lot of people are complaining about the new 28 Years Later
oh my god,
because
Are
it was shot on an iPhone, and people are having a cow about that. I did
do
research.
people?
Yeah, no, I saw the picture of what it is. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I did see that picture
Yeah.
too.
If you
slightly modified, quote unquote.
if you want to, I actually did research myself.
Mm.
You mentioned it was shot on a VHS camera.
Well, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the actual
Yeah.
camera was. But
Uh,
I think it was like shot literally. It was literally shot on like 1920 by 1080, like something like no other movie does. Like usually they shoot like 4K or up. But,
Right.
Yeah. If you go on IMDb, you can do the research yourself. Look at the technical aspects. Type in that camera into eBay. You can find that camera for $80 to $200 now.
The one from like, the
Yowzer.
original.
Wow, good.
Yeah.
night.
So even the original was not shot on a high-end camera.
What? And 28 weeks later looked more like a standard movie, and I like
Yeah.
that movie too.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the problem is here.
No, I don't
Like,
either.
I don't
Like,
get. I
Yeah.
don't get the hubbub.
Yeah.
Yeah. That picture is insane. Like you see that iPhone and just like monstrosity of a lens on it. It's like I don't know.
I feel like
Can you just wait and see how the movie looks first? Like, and
Yeah, exactly.
since when has I don't like. Do people not realize how many major movies have been shot on iPhones?
Zack Snyder, people worship Zack Snyder. He shot a short film completely on an iPhone.
And not just that, like Steven Soderbergh has shot multiple movies now on iPhones. And
Yeah.
if you watch them, some of them you won't even be able to tell.
And now people have a problem with it? Like, what the fridge,
And that's
guys?
that's kind of a Danny Boyle thing. Is like he doesn't shoot most of his movies like other directors would.
Yeah.
You know, with 28 Days Later and
What planet are you from?
even Trainspotting has some kind of like that raw feel to it, and 127 hours. 127 hours. I'm not sure what that was shot on, but it also has that very raw look to it that doesn't look like Hollywood. But
I mean, and there's even films that purposely go for a lower look. Not that this would have a lower look, but
Mhm.
I don't remember who directs it, but
I would-
Inland Empire.
yeah, that movie was like shot on consumer level, and I feel like
And it's considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time from the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Yeah, it's just all the freaking out about this. Why?
Yeah,
money does
it's
not
weird.
equal a good film.
Yeah, and I would much rather them actually put money towards like production, like design, like obviously the actors too, makeup, the effects. This obviously is not going to be a very CG heavy movie.
Right.
Actually put money into there are other important things to put money into besides what the camera is. I feel like any of the best directors of all time would tell you the camera that they're using isn't what matters most. It's what you see. It's what you see, behind the it's what you see from behind whatever it is.
And
it's the vision that's driving the film, not the camera.
Even with the camera, it's not the camera, it's how you use it.
Yeah, exactly. What the most important piece of filmmaking is the director. It's you who's behind the camera, man.
Yep,
Like,
absolutely.
I can say that from experience,
Yep.
It's like,
And I got the experience, the behind the scenes of one of Paul's short films, and it was very fun. It was very fun to do so.
Do you have any thoughts on this, Dyllan?
No, I mean, I fully agree with everything that Garrett's saying. There's a lot more to making a movie than what a camera is.
Yeah.
I definitely think that there have been cases in the past where like a camera could help like make or break how a movie feels.
absolutely.
Yes.
But it's like on a big budget movie, like absolutely. Like you
Yes.
want to use, you don't want to use an iPhone to like make like an Avengers movie.
Right,
That's
yeah,
probably
no.
not
Yeah.
what you want. But like with something like this where where it's not like something like this big IP, like this big franchise,
It's
with
still
something
like
like
an
this,
indie.
you can do almost anything you want with it.
Yeah.
It still is very much like an indie type franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I forget what the budget is, but it has a decent budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's not really that important, especially when you consider the roots of the franchise, the roots of the first movie, which like I said, it was shot on a very low level camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's what I think made it so.
Yeah.
That's what made it so effective. It looked unlike any other movie at the time.
Yeah. And let me get to one more thing before we wrap it up. For all you people that complain about movies being shot on iPhones, watch any movie that's done by the Asylum, and then you can go start complaining. Because the Asylum had some dreadful movies.
Yeah.
It's not saying the budget for 28 years later yet.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say I
odd.
think it's a little too early for that.
But the cast includes Aaron Taylor Johnson,
And
Jodie Comer,
and Killian's back.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy,
which I'm so
Ralph-
excited to see.
Ralph Fiennes,
Mm-hmm.
Jack O'Connell, Aaron Kellyman, who was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah. She was also in Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is gonna.
Memphis
This has every reason to be great.
Yeah.
Because I almost put the original 28 Days Later in this sci-fi list. But
Ah.
it didn't quite make it.
There you go.
The budget for the first one was $8 million.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I think what made that original movie so great was that how empty everything felt.
Yes.
Especially when Cillian Murphy is walking out in London and there's like, it's so weird not seeing anyone around him. The fact that they managed to clear out so much of that city and it just only the lone person walking through that. It's eerie.
Yeah.
There's just something so eerie about that.
I definitely
like-
need to rewatch
It's like
those.
it's very much like with how I Am Legend worked. It was like seeing just one lone person walking through New York City.
Yeah.
Right.
There's just something off-putting about that.
Yeah.
That works so well.
I definitely need to rewatch the 28 movies.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got both Blu-rays.
Okay.
So there's a upcoming sci-fi movie that's coming out this week, The Wild Robot, which I cannot wait
Yeah, I'm
to
very
review and to watch, which I believe that's what we're going to be talking about for next week. So,
You can review it, yeah, if you're gonna watch it, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Garrett's going to go see it as well. So.
Probably not this weekend because I'm gonna be so busy.
Okay.
But
Well-
Okay, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys want to review it, go for it.
life
absolutely.
is chaotic for me right
that's now
now.
in my high most anticipated animated films of the year. Like the previews look amazing.
Yeah,
So-
it looks really good.
Mhm.
So yeah, which perfect compliment for Sci-Fi September for sure. So
Yeah.
that's coming very very soon. Next,
We're finishing it off with the top sci-fi movies of the 2010s and 20s next week.
yes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please be respectful in the comments, please. And roast Matthew for not seeing Wally. Go ahead and roast him. We got some more other craziness coming to you very, very soon. Remember to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, which
Threads.
has over
And
Threads,
Threads.
which has got over 90 followers on Instagram. Which, guys, thank you for that. More big projects coming very soon.
Help liking us and stuff and following us will really help us a lot
Yes.
because we need more subscribers. I'll just say this, like, we do need more subscribers to be able to go to conventions to talk to celebrities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a requirement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right.
if you guys could help us grow with that, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just make sure to share with your friends,
Yes.
like-minded individuals. Like, just make sure to do that. Genuinely, it does fucking help us out.
Yes.
A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
We're about to start a recording of Review Rewind a light year, so that's either going to be uploaded or it's going to be
It'll be uploaded
Coming
later in
soon.
the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be coming soon, which I cannot wait to talk about. So that's
Yep.
going to be coming, and that's all I have to say.
Thank
Yeah.
you and good night.
God bless
you.
everybody.
Good night.
We have been the Cinema Asylum Podcast. You guys were awesome. Thanks for coming out. Good night.